Okay, hold on a minute here, folks. Just give me one quick second. Let's see if I'm able to get this up and running. Just give me 1 minute here, folks. Let's see. It looks like it's good, and I think we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. In today's video, we have a crucial game. It's the last game of round 2. We've got the Game 7 on tap between the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres. It's in Buffalo, and it's win or go home. Both these teams looking to advance to the Eastern Conference Final and play the Carolina Hurricanes. Buffalo looking for a little bit of redemption after their last Eastern Conference Final against Carolina in 2006. Montreal looking to reach the Eastern Conference Final for the first time since 2021. So this is going to be a very interesting game. All of these games so far have really been blowouts except for Game 4, which I actually did a live stream on. So we shall see if Buffalo or Montreal is able to emerge victorious and which one is going to go to Carolina and face them on Thursday. So that'll be very interesting. Just give me one quick sec here, folks. I just got to change a couple things up and we will be good to go. So just give me one quick sec here, folks. Just trying to get some things going here. Give me one quick sec. Hold on a minute here, folks. And that looks like that's good. Okay. So just give me one quick sec here, people. I do apologize. I'm just going to try and make sure everything is up and running. And then we should be good to go. So just give me one quick sec here, folks. Let's see if everything is good. Just give me one quick sec here. You're not missing anything. We haven't started the game yet, so you are not missing a thing. Once the game starts, I will be doing my live play-by-play, so I hope you guys are all able to tune in and stay tuned in for this one. This is going to be a very interesting one. So, very interesting. If you're already here, leave a like, subscribe, comment, tell all your friends best hockey content on YouTube is right here at the End to End Hockey channel. So it'll be very interesting to see how this game winds up playing out. Just give me one quick sec here, folks. Just want to make sure it works. It looks like it is working, so that is fantastic. Let's see. Let's change this thing up just a little bit. That seems good. And we look like we are good to go. So just let me put this over here. I do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. And I thank you. If you guys want to, leave a chat down below. Really appreciate it. And yeah, this is going to be a very interesting game. So give me one quick sec here, folks. Let me get to the game. So let me just get to the game here, folks, and then we should be good to go. Habs and Sabres, Game 7. This is the second Game 7 of the playoffs so far. Both have involved the Montreal Canadiens. The only 7-game series in round 1 was Montreal-Tampa, and the only Game 7 in round 2 is Montreal-Buffalo. So once again, Habs know what it is to be in a Game 7. This is the Sabres' first Game 7 this year. They are apparently 1-6 in Game 7 appearances, so not overly great stuff there from the Sabres, as they haven't really been overly fantastic when it comes to playing in Game 7s, but we'll see if that changes today. Once again, they're just coming on the ice. We still have to get through the anthems, so you guys are not missing a thing. Once again, the next game after tonight will be on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, as we will have Avalanche Knights in Colorado. That will be a very interesting one. Not planning on streaming that one, but I will be planning on streaming future ones. And then I will also plan on streaming a couple of other games later on in the week. Game 1 of the Carolina versus winner of this game series of the Eastern Conference Final, and then Game 2 of the Avalanche Knights series on Friday. So Thursday, Friday, I will have next live streams, but this is the only live stream I have currently. So very interesting to note there. Once again, very interesting so far. They're just gearing up to go on the ice. So that is good stuff there. We've not started the game yet, so just if you're tuning in, this is going to be Game 7. This is the last second round game this is the last game of the second round. Habs Sabres. Sabres won 8-3 in Game 6 to force this game right here. They've been down a couple of times in this series. Habs have been really good on the road and have bounced back quite well after a loss. So don't count them out, but this is a win and go home situation. I will not be one bit surprised if Buffalo was able to take this one. So we shall wait and see how that goes. Sabres and Habs are just entering the ice. So it'll be very interesting to see who comes away with the victory in this one. Once again, Sabres coming off of an 8-3 win, Habs coming off of a 3-2 series lead. So we'll see if the Sabres are able to win on home ice for I think, the second time in these postseason, or the third time, actually, I think it would be. And the Habs are trying to win their, I think, fourth or fifth road game of the postseason, and both of them trying to advance to the Eastern Conference Final to face off against the Carolina Hurricanes on Thursday. This is going to be a very interesting one. This series has been back and forth. Once again, it's been a very tight series with blowouts. Like, there have been a lot of blowouts. The Habs have won 6-3. They won 5-1. They won 6-3. They won, the Sabres won 8-3. The Sabres won 4-2. So, once again, they both had some blowouts in this series. The Sabres did win the only close game there was, 3-2 game. So, once again, I still think the Buffalo Sabres are this year's version of the St. Louis Blues, a team who a lot of people don't think they have enough in them to go all the way, but I do still think Buffalo is able to go all the way. My ideal scenario right now, with the 5 current teams left in the postseason, would be a Buffalo-Vegas Stanley Cup final, the Eichel Bowl. That's the Stanley Cup final I am currently hoping for. But we shall see if the Sabres are able to advance today, or if the Habs are able to spoil that. Once again, the Sabres are my fourth favorite team, so I will be rooting for them. I wouldn't mind too much if the Habs moved on, because I am Canadian, so seeing the Canadians move on would not be too terrible in my opinion. But the Sabres are my fourth favorite team. I am definitely pulling for them to win this game, win this series, and potentially put the Carolina Hurricanes on their heels early in Thursday, and maybe try and upset them. We'll see. Once again, I think a lot of people still have Carolina, Colorado as their Stanley Cup final. But I still don't trust Carolina in Eastern Conference Finals, and I still believe in the President's Trophy curse to some extent. So I do still think there's going to be obstacles. Once again, I wouldn't be surprised or shocked if the Hurricanes or the Avalanche wound up making it to the Stanley Cup Final. But until I see it, I'm still not going to be betting for them to win the Stanley Cup. So we shall wait and see. Once again, we'll have my playoff predictions on, I think it's Wednesday morning. I'm trying to put out the playoff predictions for the conference final and the Stanley Cup finals, so stay tuned for that. But I will give you guys a little bit of insight here. I am going to be picking Vegas to win that Western Conference final. And a lot of you guys are saying it's a really good team. The Avalanche are really good. How are you going to pick against the Colorado Avalanche? Well, I still think that the Colorado Avalanche haven't really been tested yet. Once again, the Wild are a very fantastic team, and they have a way better defense than Vegas does. But Vegas' center group smashes Minnesota's center group. And I think if Eric Sneck was there for the Minnesota Wild, there would have been a lot more problems for the Colorado Avalanche. So I am picking Vegas in 7. Once again, I could see it go either way, but I still don't believe the President's Trophy team will make it to the Stanley Cup final. Colorado reminds me a lot of the 2024 Rangers, when they were able to get the President's Trophy, wind up getting it, and get to a conference final where they actually had a 2-1 series lead before they wound up losing 3 straight and losing to the Florida Panthers. So once again, I'm not saying I would be shocked or I wouldn't be surprised if the Colorado Avalanche did wind up making it to the Stanley Cup final, but my prediction right now, and what will be in my playoff predictions, will be Vegas in 7. I do think Vegas has an outside chance to make it to the Stanley Cup final, and they're my favorite team. I'm not going to be picking against them if they got this far into the conference final. So very interesting to note there. Once again, we do have a very interesting game. We're currently in anthems right now, so you are not missing a thing. And then once again, in a few seconds, we will be going over to Buffalo to see how the Sabres and the Habs play out. So that'll be very interesting. Once again, I will put this up here, so as we are getting set and getting very close to the start here. So we shall see how this all plays out. Once again, they're just doing the anthem, so you guys are not missing a thing. Sabres and Habs, Game 7, winner take all, Atlantic Division rivalry, and who's going to come out atop of the Atlantic Division in the playoffs? Is it the Atlantic winning regular season Buffalo Sabres, or will it be the Montreal Canadiens? This is going to be a very interesting test to see which team winds up coming out on top. So very interesting to note there. Let your guys' thoughts down in the chat below. Leave a comment, subscribe, like the video, tell all your friends. Best hockey content on YouTube is right here at the End to End Hockey channel. So very interesting to note there. Let's see which team is going to wind up winning tonight. Sabres at home, Habs on the road. Both teams looking for the Game 7 in the series victory. Let's get going. Once again, It looks like we're just getting underway here. Sabres and Habs. This one's going to be a barn burner, folks. Once again, we are in Buffalo. It looks like Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is going to be the starting goaltender here for Buffalo after pitching a shutout after coming on in relief in Game 6. So it looks like the Sabres are rolling with UPL here. It looks like the Habs are going back to Jakub Dobeš, which isn't too much of a surprise. He's been fantastic after a loss. So we shall see which team is able to come out on top. Face-off dot. Winner take all. Buffalo, Montreal. Let's get it going. Habs win the opening face-off. Get in the neutral zone. Buffalo's able to tip it in, and they send it deep into the Habs zone. Montreal's got it in the neutral zone, and they send it back into their own zone. Nice pass, trying to get it into one of the Habs players in the neutral zone, but it goes back into the Buffalo zone, and Buffalo's going to stop it up. Samuelsson along the boards, tipped into the neutral zone and into the Montreal zone. However, this is going to be an icing call. He wasn't at the red line, and that's going to bring up an offensive zone faceoff draw for the Montreal Canadiens. Just a couple of minutes into the game, 27 seconds in fact. Once again, the Habs have a 7-1 record in Game 7s since 2004. So since basically the turn of the century, they have been phenomenal in Game 7s. Offenses on face-off draw here for Montreal. And Suzuki's going to have to redo it. Suzuki in the face-off dot, and he's going to be pushed over. Buffalo gets the puck. They send it into the neutral zone, and Buffalo trying to go after it. Once again, there's a little bit of confusion. This might actually be a too many men penalty on Buffalo. Let's see here. Once again, there was some confusion on the bench. I wonder if they just call a penalty here on the Sabres. Let's see. This might be a bench minor. Once again, Buffalo was 1-6 all-time record in Game 7. So in Game 7s, not really good stuff there. Looks like there is no bench infraction. It's just going to be a neutral zone face-off. Buffalo is able to win it. Power gets it to the red line and dumps it in. Montreal goes after it. They have it well on the boards. Dobson to Hudson, around to Caulfield, trying to get the puck further. Can't. Buffalo keeps it in. Thompson around the boards. Slavkovsky intercepts. And he gets it to Hudson below the goal line. Gets it out to Caulfield. Caulfield tries to stretch feet to Slavkovsky, just a little bit out of his reach. And Montreal is offside by the looks of things. So the Habs are going to have to tag up. There's another neutral zone face-off draw. Once again, very interesting to note there. And once again, they're just showing how quickly the teams have scored so far in this series. The longest the team has taken a team to score in this series has been 6.5 minutes. So there have been a lot of early opening goals in this series. So very interesting to note there. Habs won the neutral zone faceoff draw, and they dump it back into the Buffalo zone right on Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who's going to glove it, and who's going to hold on to it. So very good stuff there from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. 1 minute and 2 seconds into the game, and it's still a scoreless game. If you guys can, leave a like, subscribe, comment, tell all your friends. Best hockey content on YouTube right here at the End to End Hockey channel. Once again, Dobeš, a 7-6 record with a 2.59 GAA and 906 save percentage, so he's been pretty good. Montreal wins the offensive zone faceoff draw. They get back to the point. It's Carrier with a shot stopped. Nice stop by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Puck in the corner. Montreal's able to come away with it. It's Josh Anderson who gets the load to Texier. Texier trying to get away from a Buffalo player. I think that might be Metsa. Montreal's got it around the boards. Sends it deep, and it's picked off by Rasmus Dahlin, who's going to get it all on the boards and tip it into the neutral zone. And now the puck goes out. Buffalo's trying to get the puck back. Quinn shadowing one of the Habs players, and he's going to just chip off for a line change. Matheson in his own net zone, stops up as both teams are changing, trying to set something up here. Matheson, nice pass over to Golaie. Golaie has it to the red line, dumps it in, Habs go after it. Buffalo trying to get a puck out. They can't. Montreal holds it. Here comes Doc, trying to feed in front. Stopped on Oliver Kapanen, who I think is making his playoff debut, or at least series debut. Montreal keeps the line. Montreal in. Nice play along the boards. Gets it back to Golaie. Golaie gets it, and the pass is a little bit far. They have to regroup. It went offside. So now it is, I think, Doc who has the puck, or maybe that's Bolduc. Tries to send a deep pass, and the puck goes right to Buffalo in their own zone, and they're able to stop up. Here's Timmins. Timmins off the wall and sends it back into the Montreal zone where they are able to recover. Hudson across to his D partner. Demidov below the goal line. They have it. Dobson back to Demidov, entering the offensive zone for the Montreal Canadiens. Has some space. Demidov trying to feed a backhand pass to Newhook. Can't. Byram with the intercept. And Buffalo trying to get that puck away. Montreal has it. Hudson across, but just once again a little bit too far, and they have to regroup. They just send it back into the Buffalo zone. A little bit hard for one of the Sabres to handle, but they do get a stretch feed, going after it, chasing after it. Nice try. Tuck trying to get across, can't. Now he does, and that shot stopped by Dobish. A sharp angle shots, just cannot put it on goal. Buffalo is able to keep the line, though. They get it back to the point. Byram to Power. Power with a shot in front. Tipped, and it doesn't go wide. Byram going after the puck. They can't get there. Montreal touches it, and I think this is either going to be offside or a penalty on one of the teams. Let's see. There might be a holding penalty here. I saw someone grab the jersey a little bit. We'll see here. Once again, they're just showing some of the highlights here. Kapanen in front of the net trying to get his first career playoff goal, if I'm correct. Byram had the puck, sent it long, tried to hit Tuck. He was able to, but Hudson with a really good play to negate any sort of shot attempts there from Alex Tuck. So that's really good stuff there. And once again, it looks like there was just a stoppage in play, no penalties. But offenses on face-off draw. Samuelson with a shot, and that one goes wide. Buffalo trying to keep it in. They can't. Actually, they are eight. No, they can't. Benson has to go back for the puck as Buffalo loses the center ice. Benson in his own zone, trying to fend off a Hab player, and the puck is taken off of Benson's stick. Norris gets it into the neutral zone, and Buffalo chases after it. It's Tage Thompson. But once again, Carrier gets there first in his own zone, and he starts to get up the ice, gets to the red line, dumps it in. Buffalo's going to chase after it. Buffalo has it along the boards. Nice stretch feed here, and here comes Tage Thompson. Thompson into the offensive zone. Thompson looking for a passing lane, gets it deep. Thompson to Benson. Benson below the goal line, tries a pass in front, intercepted by Montreal. And the Habs have it in their own zone. 16 minutes left, first period. Still a scoreless game. Montreal has it now in the neutral zone. Suzuki, it's tipped in, and Buffalo is going to try and get something going. Montreal's got it in their own zone, and that's a nice pass. Once again, they're still in their own zone, just playing keep away right now. Montreal's got it. I think it's Matheson again. Set behind his own net, just trying to stop up and get some things started. Matheson across to Anderson, who's in the middle, backhands it into the offensive zone, goes after it, beats Byron to the puck. However, Buffalo's got some reinforcement. Montreal has it. Philip Deneau with a tip in front. Montreal opens the scoring in this game. It is 1-0 Habs. A solid start here from the Montreal Canadiens, and it's Philippe Deneau with the opening goal, and the Habs have taken the 1-0 lead in this game. Solid start there from the Habs, and that's only 4.5 minutes into this first period. So really good stuff there. Once again, Anderson was able to beat Byron to the puck, push him off of it. He got the puck across, and they got back. Texier got the puck back to the point after it was below goal line. Goulet with a shot, pass in front. Oh, that was a little bit of a kicking motion. I don't know if they challenged this, especially this early in the game, but we shall see, because there was a little bit of kicking motion went off of his skates, so we shall see if they want to challenge this or not. Let's see here. Deneau's last playoff goal was on April 21st, 2025. So it's been a while since Philippe Deneau wound up scoring a playoff goal. So it's been a while. Once again, let's see. Is there going to be a challenge here? Once again, Ruff is yelling at the refs. We shall see. It's called a goal, and they do start the face-off dot. So Habs up 1-0 early on after Deneau goal that went off of his skates. Once again, Montreal has it in the neutral zone. Let's see here. Just give me one quick sec here, folks. Hold on, wrong team. Buffalo has it in the offensive zone, fighting for the puck, and they are looking for it. Both teams have it in the corner. Montreal's able to escape with it. Goulet to the other side. Nice job there from Caden Goulet. And the Montreal Canadiens having the offensive zone. A jack eye around, trying to get to Bolduc. Can't. Picked off by Buffalo. And here come the Sabres. Buffalo coming in. It's Rebecca Mallenstein, dumps it in, chases after it. Lane Hudson going after it to get their first nice hit from Mallenstein on Hudson. And now Montreal has it in their own zone, trying to stretch feet, are able to hit it. Newhook into the offensive zone, dumps it in. Samuelson gets there first. Buffalo trying to get that puck. They are able to. Don't has in his own zone, and he's going to chip it ahead. Gets it out. McLeod, nice pass. And Buffalo is able to take it into the offensive zone. They do have possession. McLeod, across, back to the point. Shot from Doan. Stopped. Dahlin's got it again. Dahlin looking for a passing lane. Dahlin gets it to the point, gets it back. And I think this is McLeod who leaves it for Doan again. Doan looking for a passing lane, gets it to Dahlin. A little bit too hard for him. He's have to go around to get it. Samuelson looking for a passing lane, gets it to Dahlin, but it's intercepted. Here come the Habs on a partial breakaway. Hudson shoots, stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. A huge stop on the breakaway. And now Montreal's got the puck in their own zone. Matheson to, I think that is Suzuki. And Suzuki dumps it in. And Buffalo goes after it. Suzuki trying to center in front. They do get it. Shot stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and he's going to hold on for the whistle. A huge stop early on in this game from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen with Caulfield on the doorstep. And the Montreal Canadiens are pressing for more, already up 1-0. Once again, a nice stop on Hudson, who had a breakaway attempt. Nice stop on Caulfield with a backhand. 13:34 left in the first period. 1-0 Montreal in this do-or-die Game 7. So very interesting to note there. Once again, the Habs did have a lead after the first period in the last game. The Sabres had a lead after the first period in the Game 5 back in Buffalo, and both teams wound up losing. So we shall see if the Habs are able to hold on to this lead. But still, very interesting note there. We'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below, in the chat below. It's a commercial break, so you're not missing anything. What's your opinion on this game? How do you think it will go? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you are able to, leave a subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, tell all your friends. Best hockey content on YouTube is right here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. So very interesting note there. Like I said, we will have live streams later on this week. We'll once again have daily videos over the next couple of days. We will have a live stream on Thursday for Game 1 of the Hurricanes versus the winner of this series, which will be a very interesting game. So that Game 1 will be going on Thursday, and I will be live streaming that 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And then on Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, we will also have Vegas versus Colorado, which will be another entertaining game between the Avs and the Knights. And once again, I am picking the Knights to win that series, but I'll let you guys thoughts down in the comment section below. But we will be streaming Game 2 of that series on Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, Game 2 of the Western Conference, and Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference. Those ones are the next ones are going to be streaming. So I hope you guys are all able to tune in for those games coming up. So very interesting to note there. We are just about to arrive back here for more first period action between the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres, which is very interesting. Once again, we are back here. They're just showing once again the goal, Golaie off of his skate blade and into the net. Nice job there from Philippe Deneau. It looked like it was a little bit of a kicking motion. Once again, you do want Buffalo win, so that might just be my bias, but that did look like there was a little bit of a kicking motion, but they don't decide to challenge it. Montreal against Buffalo. Once again, the faceoff dot is Texier. Once again, against one of the Sabres forwards, and Texier does not win it. Power gets it to Byram. Byram below his own goal line. Passes it into the neutral zone, and here comes Buffalo. Through the middle. Nice pass from Benson and Norris. A little bit too far, but Norris is able to get there. Nice pass back. Benson fighting for the puck with Dobson and Hudson, and Norris is in there to help. Dobson can't keep it, but the Habs do wind up gaining possession. And here comes Montreal. Nice stretch feed all the way down the ice, and that one is going to be a icing call on the Habs. So offensive zone face-off draw here for the Buffalo Sabres. So that's really good stuff there for Buffaloes. They'll be getting an offensive zone face-off draw here. Once again, I think that'll be the no in the face-off dot for the Montreal Canadiens, which will be very good there for Philippe Deneau. And for the Buffalo Sabres, I think it might be McLeod, if I'm correct, or maybe it's Thompson. We'll have to wait and see. Offenses on face-off draw here for Buffalo, and Helenius, I think it is actually, loses the draw. Hudson's got it, and he can't clear the zone, but now he is able to. Gets it to Texier, who falls down, loses the puck, and Buffalo is able to regain possession in their own zone as they try and stop up and get some things started. Pass deep into the Montreal zone, right on Jakub Dobesh, and with, I think, Helenius trying to get the loose puck, he's just going to cover up, and that's going to draw a crowd in front. Shots are currently 5-2 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. So the Habs are currently leading in shots in the first few periods of this game. So very interesting to note there. Once again, Samuelson hit it off one of the Habs players on this on his way to the bench. So very interesting note there, but that led to, I think it was Nyson call. So once again, offenses on face-off draw here for the Buffalo Sabres. Now the shots have been updated. It's 5-3. So very interesting note there. Helenius out there in the face-off dots against, I think that's Alex Newhook, and the Habs are able to win the draw, but they turn it over. Nice pass, shoots! And Zucker just couldn't get the rebound. Nice try there. Buffalo does hold on for possession. Nice pass. It's kept in by Samuelsson. Sent deep to Zucker. Zucker below the goal line, trying to get some sort of passing lane. Jason Zucker wrap around, and that one just goes wide. Buffalo gains possession back for a minute, and they are able to hold possession for a couple of seconds. At the point, it's Zucker, but he can't keep the puck. The puck goes around the boards. Montreal's able to get it for at least a second. Buffalo holds the line for a minute here. The board battle here between, it looks like, Quinn and Carrier. Carrier is able to win it back to one of the Habs players, and they are able to clear. So a nice clear there from the Montreal Canadiens. Dahlin in his own zone, and both teams are changing, so he's just going to stop up in his own zone and try and set something up. Nice pass there, and here comes one of the Sabres. I think that's McLeod with a shot. Stopped by Dobesh. Puck goes to the corner. Xhekaj gets it, tries to feather it along the boards, can't. Buffalo keeps the line. McLeod to Timmins. Timmins tries a centering feed, can't. Buffalo holds the line. Buffalo looking for a passing play. They are able to get it around the boards. Dobesh gets it, and he's going to pass it to Caden Golaie. Golaie has it, entering the offensive zone, dumps it in, and he goes off for a change. Buffalo is going to get the puck into the neutral zone, trying to fight for it, and they are not able to get there. Now they do, into the offensive zone. And Buffalo trying to keep it there, can't, turns it over to Montreal, and the Habs now have it in their own zone. Dobson, below the goal line, looking for a passing play. Dobson sends it across to Hudson. Hudson across to one of the Habs forwards, and they dump it in. I think that was Suzuki. Metza's got it around the boards, tries to clear it, can't. Montreal shoots, and that one's off of a stick blade right to Byram. He's going to be able to clear the zone. Nice play from the Sabres. They get the puck out into the offensive zone. Here comes Buffalo. It's Tage Thompson, leaves it for Norris. Norris along the boards, trying to fight for it. Dobson can't get there first. Norris once again below goal line with Thompson. Benson trying to fight for it. Metza can't hold it in, and the puck goes all the way down the ice for the Buffalo Sabres, but not enough for icing. 10 minutes left in the first period. 1-0 Habs. The shots are currently 6-3. Metza is going to dump it into the Montreal zone, chase after it. Buffalo does keep it in the zone for a little bit. There's another board battle below the goal line, and once again the puck is loose, but there was nobody at the point to have a point shot, and Buffalo's going to have to stop up. Once again, they enter the offensive zone, whip it around the boards. Nice play there, tried to hit Greenway, couldn't, and the puck is loose in the corner. A couple of Habs and Sabres fighting for it. Malenstein's there, Samuelsson, Greenway, Carrier, Demidov, Matheson. Lots of players over there trying to fight that puck loose. Greenway's got it to Samuelsson, back at the point, but there's no one there. Once again, it trickles into the Buffalo Sabres zone. Samuelson's got it below the goal, or Dahlin's got it below the goal line, mind you. And they are going to stop up and try and set something up here. Once again, Montreal's got it. They're out shooting Buffalo 7-3. Montreal gets the puck into the offensive zone. Or actually, Buffalo does. Helenius to Quinn! And that stopped by Dobesh. A nice try there from Jakub Dobesh from Quinn, and Dobesh stood tall. A fantastic stop. Now here comes the Habs. Maybe a 2-on-2 break. It's a little bit out of reach, and Buffalo's got the puck back in the offensive zone. Byram is going to dump it down the walls. Can't clear it, and now here comes a little bit of a break here for Montreal. It's Texier. He may have Anderson with him. Texier around the net, and he's just going to dump it as far as he can. Deneau's going to keep the puck in, and the Habs are able to keep it. Texier to the point to Golaie. Golaie tries to get around the boards, can't. He keeps the line. Golaie across, shoots, and that one's going to be turned aside. Nice play there from the Sabres keeper. Montreal has it again. Once again to the point. Golaie back to the point to, I think that's Deneau. Deneau gets it back to Matheson. Golaie shoots. Stopped. Hudson's got it. Hudson making some moves. And the pass is going to be intercepted, and Buffalo may have a little bit of a break here. 2-on-1. Doan, he's got a space. He's got a step, and one of the guys lost an angle. Pass in front to Doan, and he can't get the shot away. Oh, and Doan got really hardly hit. Let's see. Once again, Buffalo does have the puck in the offensive zone. Trying to get across, find it in front. Doan can't put it home, and the puck is loose. McLeod's got it, and it's below the goal line. They're fighting for it, Sabres and Habs. One of the defenders comes up to help a little bit. I think that was Samuelson. Shot from Tuch, and that one goes wide, and the rebound almost goes right into the net. A couple of great opportunities from the Buffalo Sabres, but Jakub Dobeš stands tall. It's still 1-0 for the Montreal Canadiens after some really good attempts from the Buffalo Sabres. Once again, Helenius got it across to, I think that was Quinn, tried to put it in. He could not. Dobeš with a nice save. Another pass across, trying to tap it in was Doan. Could not put it past Dobeš. Quinn got it to Timmins. Another nice stop. We'll try to put it off of Doan. Could not put it home. Game 7 has been entertaining, but the Habs still lead 1-0. We are going into a commercial break, so you are not missing a thing. So very interesting to note there. Once again, we'll talk about some things that happened earlier in the day and over the past couple of days once we hit the intermission. So we'll touch on some of that stuff, but for right now, very interesting. So the last game we saw was this game where the Habs actually had a 3-2 lead in the end of the first period, but 7 unanswered goals from Buffalo led us to this point where we have a winner-take-all Game 7. Games that are happening later this week on Wednesday will be Game 1 between the Avalanche and the Knights at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm not live streaming that one, but it'll be a very interesting one to see. Once again, on Thursday will be my next live stream, as we will have the winner of this series take on Carolina in Carolina. That game will be on Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That will be my next live stream. And then on Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, we have Vegas versus Colorado. Another very interesting game that is going to be very entertaining to watch, and I am live streaming that game as well. So we'll have a live stream on Thursday, we'll have a live stream on Friday, and we'll have a live stream today. Those are the 3 live streams we're doing for this week. So very interesting to note there. So very interesting to note there for the Canadiens and the Sabres. So it's been very interesting. Once again, we are in a commercial break, so you are not missing a thing. Once again, I do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. If you are still here, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, tell all your friends. Best hockey content on YouTube is right here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. Once again, majority of the teams who score first when going on to win Game 7s, 75% of them. So really good stuff there for the Habs. Once again, the all-time record for the Montreal Canadiens in Game 7s is 16-9, which isn't half bad. Buffalo wins a draw point shot, and that one goes wide. Nice try there from the Sabres. Benson, nice try on a hit for Caulfield. Carrier's got it. Carrier trying to fight forward with Norris and Benson. Norris is able to get the puck loose. Norris looking for a passing lane, stops up, makes a little bit of space for himself. Norris weaving and weaving again, sends it below the goal line. 2 Montreal Canadiens players there. They do get the puck back. Benson's still all over. I think that's Carrier. Buffalo is able to hold the line for a second. Puck goes to the net. And here comes Slavkovsky. He's able to get the puck. He's got a little bit of space. Slavkovsky leaves it, and one of the Habs players just can't hold the line. Buffalo is able to gain the puck back. Slavkovsky, though, does take it back away. In front shoots, and that one stopped. Rebound from Slavkovsky, can't. The puck is sent out of play, and I think this might be a delay of game call on Buffalo. We shall see here, but this might be a delay of game call. Let's see. Once again, if this is going to be delay of game. Once again, shots are currently 10-7 for Montreal. The puck definitely went up and out of play. Let's see here. Once again, some really good pressure here from the Habs. Suzuki, Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky was able to get the puck. They got it to Caulfield, and that puck was cleared up and out by, I think, Zach Benson. I think it didn't get deflected or anything. It doesn't look like it. Let's see here. Nice stop from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen on Cole Caulfield. Dahlin giving him a little bit of a shoulder tap after that save. And it is Benson puck over glass, delay of game. So the first power play of this game goes to Montreal, who are already up 1-0 in this game. So really good stuff there for the Habs, as they are going to get another power play. So very interesting to note there. Really good stuff here from the Habs. So that is fantastic. The offensive zone faceoff draw. Suzuki has it, and the puck is taken away for a second. And now Buffalo does have it, trying to get a little bit of a stretch feed, can't, and they're just going to dump it down. Nice play there. Smart play there from the Buffalo Sabres. Lane Hudson's got it. Hudson passes it across. Nice play there from the Montreal Canadiens. and sends it back into the Montreal zone. And Montreal can't hold the line, but now they do. Send it around the boards. Slavkovsky along the boards gets it to the point. Hudson across to Demidov. It's a little bit too far off his reach, but he's able to hold it in. And now the puck is sent to the neutral ice by one of the Sabres players, and the Sabres are going to be caught up on a little bit of a line change, but they aren't able to get it. Montreal does keep his zone, gets it back to the point. That's Slavkovsky, hits it to Suzuki. Suzuki looking for a passing play, gets it to Hudson. Hudson looking for a passing play, hits Demidov. Demidov back to Hudson. Hudson back to Demidov. Demidov sets it to Slavkovsky, back to Suzuki, and that one goes wide. 55 seconds left in the power play. Demidov's got it, back to Hudson at the point. Hudson back to, nope, it goes to Suzuki this time. Suzuki sends it back up to the point, gets it to Hudson, fakes the shot. Hudson gets it back. Hudson to Suzuki. 40 seconds left in the power play, just passing around right now. Caulfield's got it. Caulfield weaving and bobbing, trying to make some people miss. Gets it to Suzuki. Gets it across to Slavkovsky. And that one stopped. The puck goes just out, and the Habs have to regroup. So a solid play there from the Montreal Canadiens. But they do bring it back in. Hudson to Suzuki. Suzuki to Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky has a point shot, and that one goes wide. 15 seconds left on the power play. Montreal trying to get that loose puck. Here's Lane Hudson. Hudson looking for it, shoots, and that one stopped. Suzuki has it below the goal line. Pass in front, scores! The Montreal Canadiens have made it 2-0. It's Zach Bolduc on the power play. They were able to make a couple of line changes, and they get the ever-important second goal. It is 2-0 Habs, and we're not out of the first period yet. So, really good start here from the Montreal Canadiens on the road. Once again, really good start here for Montreal. 2-0 Habs over the Sabres. So that's very interesting and good stuff there from Montreal. Once again, let's see. Once again, some nice stops there from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. But once again, just a beautiful shot from Zachary Bolduc that's given the Montreal Canadiens a 2-0 lead. So not great news there. And once again, another nice shot from Zach Bolduc on the power play. And the Montreal Canadiens watch party at the Bell Center is erupting. They're outshooting the Sabres 10-6 right now, and they're up 2-0. Once again, 5.5 left in the first period. So really good stuff there from Montreal. Once again, we're going to have another face-off here in the neutral zone after the Montreal Canadiens goal, and the Habs are able to win it. It's the start of the playoffs for Zach Bolduc. Montreal's got it, and they send it in. Nice job there from Philippe Deneau. However, that is an icing call and will lead to a Sabres offensive zone face-off draw. So very good stuff there for the Buffalo Sabres. Once again, Hudson now has a 6-game point streak. No goals, but 8 points. So 8 assists. Pretty good stuff there from Lane Hudson, who did get an assist on that Zach Bolduc goal. So really good stuff there for the Montreal Canadiens, who are now up 2-0 here on the Buffalo Sabres. Offensive zone face-off draw here for Buffalo, and they are able to win it. Back to the point. Power with a shot. That one goes wide. Montreal's got the puck again. Dobson fails to clear it. Benson's got it. Benson trying to get some passing lane. Can't, but does go back to the point. Power to Byram. Byram back to Power. Power trying to weave his way into the offensive zone. Passes it in front. Shots. And there's a whole bunch of bodies in the crease, but no puck. Byram's got it to Thompson. Thompson intercepted. And here come the Habs on a breakaway. Texier in. Shoots. And what a stop from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Another breakaway stop. Great stuff from the Buffalo Sabres keeper. And the Sabres are able to get the puck back. Both teams off on the change. And Helenius now has the puck below the goal line. Helenius with a nice play, gets it back, and once again the Sabres trying to stop up here. Here comes Buffalo in their own zone trying to set something up. Nice play, tipped into the offensive zone, right on Jakub Dobesh, who's going to play it out this time. And this puck is going to go to one of the Habs players. I think that was Bolduc. He sends it in for Newhook. Once again, the Habs going in after Demidov, or I think that might be Kapanen there. And the Sabres are able to get the puck back. And another nice feed here. Here comes Zucker. Got space. Got time. Zucker! Oh, what a play from one of the Habs defenders to break up that passing attempt. Great stop. And now Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is going to say that that's an icing call, and it will be. 3:59 left first period, 2-0 for the Montreal Canadiens. Once again, a really good stop from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen on the breakaway attempt from one of the Habs players. Really good stop on Texier. So fantastic stuff there from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen to keep this a 2-0 game for Montreal. They need to keep it a 2-0 game at this point. Once again, Texier on the breakaway, they're just showing the highlights, and just was able to outweight Texier. He had no more time. He had to put that puck on net, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen stood tall. Buffalo's offense is on face-off draw here. Shots are now 11-10 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. And the Habs are going to lose the draw. Tuck gets it back to the point. However, it's sent back down by Montreal. And I think that might be another icing call, and it is by the looks of things. Or actually, it's not. So Byram's got the puck in his own zone, trying to stop up and send something up. They are able to tip it back into the Montreal zone, and Caulfield goes after it. They get it along the boards, but it's not out. Tuck was the intercept, sends it back around the other side, but Caulfield is able to intercept it, and the Habs are able to stop up and try and set something up here. Dobson's got it. Dobson sends it in, and Buffalo goes after it. Power in his own zone, looking for a passing lane, and Power is going to be able to shrug off one of the Habs players. I think that was Slavkovsky. Nice play there from Owen Power, and the Sabres get the puck into the offensive zone, and it's sent all the way back down to the Buffalo zone. 3:06 left in the first period. Nice send off there. Here comes Buffalo. Benson trying to get a feed in front, couldn't find Norris. Thompson's got the puck at the point, trying to get away from Alex Carrier. Thompson is able to get the puck back. Thompson along the boards. Thompson trying to get away from Carrier, still can't. Once again, Benson and Bolduc go in there to help, and Carrier is able to get the puck back, sends it to Matheson. Matheson along the boards to Doc, but it's intercepted by Timmins. Once again, a whole bunch of players whacking at it along the boards, and Buffalo is able to get the puck. Here's Connor Timmins. Timmins sends it back to the point. Thompson's got it, shoots it, it's blocked, and the Sabres are able to regain possession. They just send it back into the Montreal zone as both teams go off on the change. 2:20 left in the first period. Once again, Buffalo was down in their last game against Montreal and came back to win. So it's not over till it's over, but Montreal looking pretty good so far in this first period. Habs send the puck deep into the Buffalo zone. And once again, the Buffalo Sabres do get the puck, and here they come. Buffalo, Quinn, along the boards, gets it deep. Helenius goes after it, along with Alex Texier, and trying to find the feed. Anderson along the boards. Both teams trying to find that puck and get it loose, and the Habs are able to get it. Golaie below the net. Golaie gets it across to his D partner. It's sent all the way down the ice. This one might be an icing call. Looks like it is. 1:46 left, and another offensive zone faceoff draw upcoming for the Montreal Canadiens. So very interesting to note there. Once again, some really good action at both ends. Zucker had a lot of space, tried to get the pass across, but he just waited too long, and Carrier was able to dive down and stop that puck. Once again, a huge hit from King Golaie on Jack Quinn. So really interesting to note there. Goulie's had 42 hits in the playoffs and already 2 tonight, so he's been a really physical force there for the Montreal Canadiens. Sabres win the offensive zone, gets it back to the point. Byram to Power. Power along the wall, shoots, and that's stopped. Montreal is able to gain possession of the puck, and they are losing it at the neutral zone, and Buffalo's got a puck back. Minute and a half left, first period. Shots are 11-9 in favor of Montreal. It's 2-0. Doan has the puck, trying to get across to Tuck, can't. Tuck gets it back to Doan, and Tuck is able to keep the puck for a second. Tuck back to Dahlin, and his shot was blocked by one of the Habs players. Another nice shot from Tuck. The puck goes wide and below the goal line. Buffalo tags up, tries to get something going. Power with a nice tip in front, and that one goes wide. Doan's got the puck again, sends it around to Jason Zucker. Zucker gets it to Tuck. Tuck tries to get in front, can't. Habs regain possession under a minute to go here in the first period. Buffalo trying to get the puck back, and they are not able to. And Montreal is able to gain possession back, gets it to the red line, dumps it in. Demidov goes after it, and the Sabres are able to get there first. Power's got it. Power, nice play there, and the Sabres go on an attack. Here come Buffalo, nice play there, gets over the Melenstein, but that's offside with 36 seconds left. A nice try there from Buffalo. 36 seconds left in the game, in the period here, and it's still a 2-0 lead. Greenway with a huge hit on one of the Habs players. 36 seconds left, and apparently we're going to a commercial break here because they apparently can't wait for intermission. So we're going to a commercial break here. You are not missing a thing. It's still 2-0 right now for the Montreal Canadiens over the Buffalo Sabres. So that is very interesting. Still a 2-0 lead right now for Montreal, which is good stuff there for the Habs, but definitely in the last game, it never lasted. So we shall see. Remember, they did have a 3-1 lead in the first period in that last game. I were never able to overcome that. I were never able to get that game across the finish line. So we shall see if they are able to tonight or not. Once again, the next game of NHL action that's going to be happening is the conference final game 1, and that's the West Final. It will be happening on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. My next live stream will be Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, as we will have the winner of this game take on the Carolina Hurricanes. So that will be very interesting. We shall see who winds up winning this game. Once again, I'm pulling for the Buffalo Sabres. Would not be upset if it was the Montreal Canadiens because I am Canadian, so seeing them advance to the conference final wouldn't be overly upsetting. But I am pulling for Buffalo, who is my fourth favorite team. So we shall see if the Sabres or the Habs do wind up pulling away and getting this victory. So we shall see. Once again, not missing anything. We're in a commercial break right now with 36 seconds left. So very interesting to note there. I do hope that the Buffalo Sabres are able to move on. Once again, a Sabres-Canes conference final, rematch of the conference final from 2006 would be very entertaining. But then again, Habs-Canes conference final wouldn't be half bad either. Those two teams have put up some very interesting stat lines throughout the regular season, so it'd be very interesting. Once again, Habs trying to end the series after blowing a 3-2 series lead. Sabres trying to come from behind a win in a Game 7, which they don't usually do. They're 1-6 in Game 7, so they have not usually been able to win in a 7-game series. Buffalo does have the puck in the neutral zone. Byram has it. Sends it off the boards to Thompson, who enters the zone and dumps it in. Both teams go after it. Montreal gets there first. Below the goal line, Carey trying to send it around to Caulfield. Now there's another board battle. 19 seconds left here in the first period. Buffalo is able to hold the line. Thompson's got it. Thompson along the boards. There's 12 seconds left here in the first period. Benson and Caulfield fighting for it. And this one might just be drained down along the boards. 4, 3, 2, 1. And there's going to be not enough time to get a shot away for the Buffalo Sabres. And that's going to be the first period. So let me change this up here, folks. Just give me one quick second. This is going to go to intermission. Goals from, let's see here. The goals were from, hold on a minute here, folks. Goals from Philippe Deneau, his first of the postseason, and Zachary Bolduc on the power play, his third of the postseason, have given the Montreal Canadiens a 2-0 lead entering intermission. However, they did lead by 2 goals at one point in the first period last game, and they weren't able to get it over the finish line. So we'll see if they are able to hold the line, or if Buffalo starts out really good like they did in the last game in the second period, and they come from behind and take the victory. So we'll see. Once again, a really good start here from Montreal. Don't discredit anything that they've done so far, but once again, we've seen Buffalo come out of worse. So we shall see how that is going. Once again, we'll get to the intermission report here after the first period. So shots on goal after the first right now are 11-9 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. So they have had the edge in the shot category. Once again, it is 2-0 Montreal. The first goal came 4.5 minutes into the first period. Philippe Deneau assists a goal that was tipped in front off of his skate blade, assisted by Caden Gooley, and Alex Texier gave the Canadiens a 1-0 lead. And then a power play goal from Zachary Bolduc with 14.5 minutes into the first period, assisted by Suzuki and Hudson, was able to give the Montreal Canadiens a 2-0 lead. And that's where we sit right now. Face-off percentages right now are in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. They have a 52.9% face-off winning percentage, having won 9 of 17 face-offs. Not half bad there. The Habs are 1-for-1 on the power play. Sabres have yet to have a power play in this game, so Habs do have the better power play percentage. Hits are in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. They've out-hit Buffalo 14-6. Hits, block shots are in favor of Montreal 5-2. Giveaways are in favor of Buffalo 6-5, and takeaways are in favor of Buffalo 1-0. So that's very interesting to note there. But the Buffalo Sabres do find themselves trailing after the first period, so that's not overly good news there for Buffalo. So very interesting to note there. Once again, we shall see how the rest of this game goes. It will be very, very interesting to see. Once again, we'll just look at some of the recent updates from this past couple of days. So we'll see that. Let's see, once again, we shall see some very interesting stuff that happened earlier today and over the past couple of days. Just give me one quick second here, folks. as I just try and get some things here. Let's see. Once again, the NHL did announce the schedules for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals. So the West Final starts on Wednesday, the East Final starts on Thursday, and they go back and forth. So West on Wednesday, East on Thursday, West on Friday, East on Saturday, West on Sunday, East on Monday, so on and so forth. So once again, we'll see how long it takes for the conference finals to finish and who we have going to the Stanley Cup final. Once again, we did get the Memorial Cup finalists last night, so I'm not sure how much any of you guys are into the junior stuff, but the OHL champion, the Kitchener Rangers, the QMJHL champion, the Chicoutimi Saginaws, the Everett champion, the WHL champion, the Everett Silvertips, and the host nation Kelowna are going to be fighting in the Memorial Cup. So the WHL champion, QMJHL champion, OHL champion, and the host nation are always going to be the four teams who are in the Memorial Cup, and we shall see which team winds up coming away with the Memorial Cup this year, so that's very interesting. Yesterday, we saw the Toronto Maple Leafs announce that assistant GM Derek Clancy, but more importantly, Brandon Pridham, have both been relieved of their duties and will be leaving the organization. So that's very interesting to note there. Clancy is not an overly surprising candidate to be left off the GM's firing squad. Once again, it's not overly surprising to see Clancy get fired, but it is a little bit surprising to see Pridham get fired, who was a key piece in Toronto as an assistant GM for a couple of years. So I wonder about Nashville's GM position with Pridham now available. Do the Preds try and go after Brandon Pridham, who a lot of people have been mentioning has the capabilities to be a GM at the NHL level? So I do wonder if a team goes out there and tries to get Brandon Pridham, but that's very interesting. Once again, other things that wound up happening over the past couple of days. The Golden Knights, I think we talked about this in one of our recent trade rumor videos, but the Golden Knights did wind up having a second round pick forfeited from them, and John Tortorella had to pay a $100,000 fine for the actions that happened after the Game 6 involving the media, where Torts didn't speak to the media, and the Golden Knights did make their locker room open to the media, and that's the clause in the CBA, I think, or something like that, that was broken. So the Knights were forfeited their second round pick in this upcoming year's draft, and they have also forfeited, and Torts has also been fined $100,000. So once again, they'll have an opportunity to appeal, but that's very interesting to note there. Once again, doesn't look like there's a whole bunch of other things that have happened over the past couple of days. Just let me really quickly look at the signing updates here, see if there were any sort of signings. Let's see here. Just give me one quick second here, folks. I do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. I do thank you for that. Once again, if you guys would love to hear your guys' opinion on all the stuff, off-season stuff, some of the recent news, the game tonight, the games that are going to be going on in the future, I'll let you guys thoughts down in the chat below if you guys are watching. So that'll be very interesting. Would love to hear your guys' opinion on some stuff. Yeah, it looks like there's been really no movement from either signing perspective or trades. So very interesting to note there. But we don't have very much of anything really to talk about at this point in time. So really the only big news from the past couple of days is we know who's going to be playing the Memorial Cup final from the WHL, the OHL, the QMJHL, and the host nation, and the fact that Brandon Pridham was let go by the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that is very interesting stuff there. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what some of your favorite teams you think could be doing in the off-season. I do have a couple off-season preview videos I should hopefully be getting out later tonight. They're already edited, just wasn't able to post them before the game started. So hopefully like 2 to 3 hours after the live stream ends, I should be able to get them up. One of them was Winnipeg, Washington. One of them was Nashville, San Jose. So after today, the next few offseason preview videos will be teams who are eliminated in round one. So we should be finishing up the teams who wound up being eliminated before the playoffs started tonight. So that's going to be very interesting. I hope you guys are able to tune in for those ones. Recently, we posted the Jackets and the Islanders offseason preview video, the Red Wings and the Blues offseason preview video. A couple of weeks ago, we did a couple of other ones. So if you guys want to check out some of the teams' offseason preview videos, go check out those ones on my channel. Tomorrow we should have a fan reaction to this game here between the Habs and the Sabres. We should also have a game recap, recapping Saturday's game as well as today's game. And then we should also have a What If the NHL Had a Script. So that's all hopefully coming out tomorrow, depending on how things go. And then, like I said, I want to try and do my playoff predictions on Wednesday before the Avalanche Knights game starts. So that'll be very interesting. Once again, it's been a very interesting game so far between Buffalo and Montreal. We opened the game. The Habs were able to open the scoring. A goal from, it was Philippe Deneau, a nice tip in front off of his skate blade that gave the Montreal Canadiens a 1-0 lead. And then Montreal was able to make it 2-0 on the power play thanks to Zachary Bolduc. So really good stuff there from the Habs as Bolduc scored, as it was Philippe Deneau scored. So Deneau has his first of the playoffs. Bolduc is third, and the Habs have the 2-0 lead. Remember, though, Montreal did have a 3-1 lead in the last game against the Buffalo Sabres, and Buffalo stormed back in the second period, took the lead, never looked back. So we shall see how Buffalo does. Remember, Buffalo's first game of this postseason was a 2-0 deficit at the start of the third period, and they came back to win 4-2, or 4-3, actually, I think it was. So either way, Buffalo's accustomed to these sorts of positions, and I would not be one bit surprised if they were able to come from behind and win again. So once again, we still have about 8 minutes left before intermission. So I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on some teams. Let's just pick a team here and see if you guys want to talk about it right now while we still have 8 minutes before intermission. What do you think will happen with the Winnipeg Jets in the offseason? The Jets are a very interesting team. I'm just about to post an offseason preview video about them. They're going to be a very interesting team to look at this upcoming offseason. I do think they're going to go through a little bit of a retool to try and get back into the postseason next year. Not sure if they will or not, but I wouldn't be shocked if they were able to get back into the postseason. Once again, I think they're going to have to try and find a long-term second-line center, Trocheck or Shen, if the Islanders trade him, or a guy like Robert Thomas if he's available, or a couple of other guys I think could potentially be landing spots or trade targets for the Winnipeg Jets to try and find that long-term second-line center. Maybe try and go out on the draft and draft someone like a Tanner Lawrence or a Vigor Bjorstick. That could be a very interesting pickup there for the Winnipeg Jets on the center group. So be very interesting to see what the Jets do. I also think they probably need another top four defenseman, maybe someone on the younger side, maybe a little bit more of maybe a little bit more of a certified backup for Connor Hellebuck. Not anything against Comrie, but I think he's still not the best backup out there. So I do wonder if the Jets try and target him and try and get someone else to be the backup for Connor Hellebuck. So that'll be very interesting. But once again, those are some things that we could see from the Winnipeg Jets. Once again, I'm expecting the trade stuff to start picking up over the next couple of weeks. We're starting to get out of the playoffs and into the offseason mode. Once again, 28 teams will have been eliminated from postseason contention. So I think maybe not next week, but after next week, we will start to see a whole bunch of movement once again in the NHL with trades and things like that. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there and how these teams try and construct themselves to be a little bit better next year and see if there's maybe some different teams who end up making it to the conference finals next year. I mean, Buffalo, Montreal to some extent still haven't been to the conference final in the Eastern side for quite a bit of time, but I mean, Carolina's back there again for the third time in 4 years. Colorado's back there again for the second time, I think, 5 years. Vegas is back there again for, I think, the third or fifth time in 9 years. So, like, once again, we've seen some of these teams reach the conference finals. I'm hoping next year we'll have a couple of new teams, whether that be the young upstart Anaheim Ducks, the young upstart San Jose Sharks, the more veteran but looking a little bit better Minnesota Wild, the young upstart Utah Mammoth. Does another couple of teams try and take some of those conference final spots? Would it be Los Angeles? Could they potentially get back in? Seattle? What about Chicago? Do they have enough gas in them next year? What about a couple of other teams? But I definitely do hope we see a couple of new teams next year entering the conference final, teams we haven't really seen since the turn of the decade at the start of the 2020s. So very interesting to note there. And we shall see what else happens. There's still 5 minutes left in intermission, so that's very interesting to note there. I do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Just looking at some other things that could potentially be happening. Once again, I do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Let's see here. Once again, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has been pretty dang good all playoffs long. So that's very good stuff there for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. And we shall see which team winds up happening. Once again, just some things that have been mentioned over the past couple of days. So we shall see. Once again, we will have a very interesting game happening on Wednesday. Avalanche Golden Knights. I feel like if the Knights want to win this series, they have to win at least one game in Colorado. If they don't win one game in Colorado, I think it might be a very short series. But if they can split in Colorado, split in Vegas, and then maybe win games 5 and 6 or 2 of 5, 6, and 7, I think they stand a very good chance to win this series. So I think they have to at least split in Colorado and then at least split in Vegas. So if they are able to go back in a game 5 to Colorado in a 2-2 series, I'm liking their chances. If they're down 3-1 or if it's already a sweep when it goes back to game 5, if there even is a game 5, I don't really like the Vegas Golden Knights' chances, but I do think if they're able to wind up earning the split against Colorado, I wouldn't be terribly shocked if they were able to wind up at least earning a little bit of stuff. So very interesting to note there. Some really good stuff so far from our past couple of days. But we will be seeing Avs Knights on Wednesday. I'll be live streaming Game 2 on Friday. So that'll be very interesting. Once again, it'll be interesting to see which team winds up making it, Habs or the Sabres. We are very close to starting the second period. So I will change that up. Just give me one quick second here, folks. This goes to the second period, so that's very interesting to note there. So that's over to the second. Let's change this thing up. Goes over there. That looks good. So I think that's fantastic. So we'll leave that there as the second period. And that is good. So we've got 2 minutes and 49 seconds left in the first intermission. So that's very solid stuff there from the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres. So really good stuff so far. I do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Once again, leave a chat, leave a comment, subscribe, leave a like down below. Tell all your friends. Best hockey content on YouTube is right here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. We shall see. Maybe we hit overtime tonight. Once again, every series that has played this so far this year has been won by a team who's won in overtime. It's a very interesting stat, but it's true. Avs beat Wild in overtime to lock up their series in Game 5. Knights beat Ducks in Game 5 to wind up advancing to Game 6, and then they wound up winning. Carolina beat Philadelphia twice in overtime, won the series. Colorado beat Los Angeles in overtime, won the series. Carolina beat Ottawa in overtime, won the series. Dallas lost to Minnesota in overtime. Minnesota won the series. Once again, Montreal beat Tampa in overtime. Montreal won the series. I think Buffalo was the only team who lost in overtime in round 1 and actually won the series. You had Carolina win, you had Colorado win, you had Philadelphia win in overtime, won the series. You had Minnesota win in overtime, won the series. You had Vegas win in overtime, games 3 and 4 against Utah. They won the series, or maybe it was 4 and 5. They had Anaheim win in overtime in game 3, won the series. They had, once again, I think that was it. So, yeah, except for Buffalo in round 1, a team who's won in overtime has went on to win the series. So maybe we get an overtime game here later tonight, and that is going to be very interesting. Once again, it looks like we're just about to get started here for the second period of Habs Sabres. So very interesting to note there. Once again, Montreal Buffalo. Looks like we're just about to get underway here. We're still in a commercial break, so you are not missing a thing. But very interesting to note there. Good stuff so far. So I really do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in here today. I really do appreciate it. Once again, we're going to be having a very interesting game. And the rest of this game, this is going to be a very interesting finish to the second round. Do the Habs win? Can they hold on to this 2-0 lead? Can Dobesh keep the Buffalo Sabres off the board, and will it be smooth sailing for the Montreal Canadiens? Or do the Buffalo Sabres do what they did in the last game, overcome a 2-goal deficit in the first period and score a couple unanswered to come from behind and take down the Montreal Canadiens? It'll be very interesting, but Buffalo's not unfamiliar with this position. Montreal knows that they can wind up shutting things down with a really good goaltender net and Jakub Dobesh. So we shall wait and see. We're just getting back here for the start of the second period between the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres. So it'll be very interesting out there. Once again, I'm pulling for the Buffalo Sabres to win this game, but I wouldn't be overly upset if the Montreal Canadiens did win, because the Montreal Canadiens are Canadian, and I am a Canadian as well. So having the Canadians win the Stanley Cup and finally bring the cup back to Canada wouldn't be terribly upsetting, but I am pulling for Buffalo, who is my fourth favorite team. So very interesting to know there, and either one of these teams are going to be rooting for in the Eastern Conference Final against Carolina. Once again, I don't like Colorado making it back to the Stanley Cup Final, but I wouldn't be overly upset with Carolina. Once again, I just don't trust them in the conference final with their recent track record. Once again, back to back, well, not back to back, but 2 out of the last 3 years made the conference final against Florida, lost in the conference final back in 2019. Carolina made the conference final, lost to Boston. 2009, they made the Stanley conference final, lost to Pittsburgh. They're in that combined 4 conference finals, 1-16. So they haven't even been able to win in conference finals besides the first Eastern Conference final win since they went to the Stanley Cup in 2006 last year. So very interesting to note there. But we shall see. Can Lindy Ruff make the adjustments and help the Buffalo Sabres take down the Montreal Canadiens? Face-off dot right here. Offensive neutral zone face-off draw here between the Sabres and the Habs as we get the second period underway. Sabres win the draw. Buffalo gets the puck into the offensive zone. Its own power. Power dumps it in. Sabres go after it. And Montreal is able to get there first, but they send it around the board straight to Samuelsson. Samuelsson tried a shot. It was blocked. Tuck now gets it. Tuck puts one on goal, and it's stopped by Jakub Dobesh, but it goes over the net. Buffalo trying to hold the line below the goal line, and they are not able to. Montreal does gain possession. And here comes Alex Texier. He just dumps it down. Buffalo and Montreal both go after it. The Habs are able to get it deep. Anderson fighting for it with a couple of Sabres, along with Philippe Deneau. Both those guys trying to fight for it. Sabres trying to get that puck loose in the defensive zone here. And Montreal is able to get it, but pops right out to Buffalo. And here comes Alex Tuck, just flips it in, and Buffalo chases after it. Nice play there, and that's going to be an icing call on Buffalo. Buffalo just was not able to beat out the icing, and that's going to be a offensive zone face-off draw for the Montreal Canadiens. So very interesting note there. Once again, Dobesh almost caught that puck, but went right through his glove and over the net. So once again, really solid stop there from Dobesh, who has a 5-2 record on the road in the 2026 postseason. So he's been a really solid goaltender on the road. Offensive zone face-off draw here to the left of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. And Montreal is going to win the offensive zone, but Buffalo does get the puck back. Dahlin off the boards, gets it to the point. Buffalo trying to fight for it, and they can't get it out. Now Buffalo does. They send it across, and here come the Sabres into the offensive zone. They just dump it back down, and Buffalo's going to try and tag up as they make a little bit of changes. Buffalo gets it into the neutral zone, and here they come. Maybe a 3-on-1, and Tuck loses it. And Norris can't get there. Now Tuck does. Tuck trying to center one, can't. And the Montreal Canadiens are able to get the puck back below the goal line. Norris going after it. Habs are able to set it up. Dobson has no stick, so he can't get the puck. However, they are able to get it out. Nice play there from Dobson, even without a stick. Buffalo's got Byram across the power. Power sends it deep, and here come the Buffalo Sabres. Dobesh trying to poke check it away, and he pokes it right to one of the Buffalo Sabres players below the goal line. Buffalo trying to tuck it in on the wraparound, can't. Dobson, who now has a stick by the looks of things, dumps it down the ice, and this one's going to be an icing call on Montreal. So offensive zone face-off draw here for the Buffalo Sabres after a really solid start to the second period by the Montreal Canadiens. So good, or actually really solid start for the Buffalo Sabres. Once again, Dobesh, after a win, is 1-6 with a 3.11 GAA, 882 save percentage. After a loss, 5-0 with a 1.79 GAA and 940 save percentage. So he has been brilliant after a loss, Jakub Dobesh has. and he'll be looking to try and be brilliant again tonight. Once again, 1 goal against and 29 shots in Game 7 against the Bolts in Tampa. So very interesting to note there. Habs regain possession. Hudson sends it into the neutral zone, and Buffalo is able to regain possession. Here comes Byram, who tips it into the offensive zone, and Montreal is able to get the puck, and it's tipped back into their own zone. Buffalo has it. Nice pass, power to Byram. Byram enters the offensive zone. He's going to leave it for Helenus, who gets it across. Buffalo shoots. That puck goes wide, and Dobish trying to find it, trying to jam away at it, looking for the loose puck, and Dobish is able to get the whistle. Solid play there from Jakub Dobish, covers up the puck, and Buffalo is not going to be able to get their first goal of Game 7. So once again, a couple of really good whacks at it from some of the Buffalo players. And Dobish with a nice stop. Once again, they're just going to show the replay here. Nice tip. It went just wide. It went off of it. Looks like Dobson's stick. And then Zucker tried to jam away at it. Could not find that loose puck. And once again, it was just under Dobish pads. There was a little bit of space there, but a nice play there from Hudson to keep that puck out. He put his stick behind the pad of Jakub Dobish, was able to keep that puck out. So once again, it looks like it will be an offensive zone face-off draw here for Buffalo after the stop from Jakub Dobish. Norris loses the draw. Habs do get it all on the boards, and they send it all the way down the ice. This one is not going to be enough for icing. Lokinen has to stop it. Buffalo has it around the boards, and they send it back into the Montreal zone. Tipped in. Norris goes after it against Carrier, and Norris is able to win the draw. Buffalo gets the puck back in the Montreal zone below the goal line, fighting for it with a couple of Habs players, and it looks like there might be a penalty here on one of the Montreal Canadiens players. Let's see. Norris is down in a heap. That's not overly good news there for Josh Norris. I think it might be Carey who's going to the box. Once again, we'll see. This might be a double minor if it's a high sticking and Norris has blood. So we shall see what the call is here. Norris getting a little bit of help off the ice. He is definitely bleeding. So that is not good news there for the Buffalo Sabres. Once again, Martin St. Louis is looking at the video. So let's see here. It looks like it's actually Caden Golaie who's going to be going to the penalty box. Let's see. Norris was fighting here, and Golaie, let's see. It might have not been Golaie. It might have actually been Carey, but definitely seemed like something caught Norris up high. Let's see here. Maybe this is a little bit of a better angle. And it looks like something happened, and not able to see from that angle. Either way, something happened to Norris. It looks like there's an NHL review here, so we'll see if this is maybe like a coincidental, and it's not going to be a penalty. Maybe Benson hit Norris in the face with his stick by accident. We'll see. The reviews has been finalized. And the call is going to be a high sticking, it looks like, on the Montreal Canadiens. Let's see. Is this going to be a double minor because of the blood? Let's see. He is definitely leaking. And once again, this might be a little bit of a better angle. It did look like it was actually Benson's stick that came up. So I do wonder if this is maybe not ruled a penalty. Maybe Golaie had a little bit of a stick here. It looked like it was Benson's stick, though. So that's very interesting. Once again, they're just showing the highlights here. It looked like it was Benson's stick. So yes, they are going to say no call on the play. Dalian with a shot. Still 5-on-5. Buffalo fighting for the puck. Benson below the goal line. Matheson gets it, and Matheson passes it out. Buffalo trying to get the puck back, and they are not able to. Montreal dumps it in. Buffalo does have it, though, in the defensive zone. Power sends it back to Samuelson, and Samuelson sends it deep. Gets it to the neutral zone. Buffalo tips it in, and Thompson's got it. Thompson along the boards, and that's actually going to be an offside call. I think Benson or Norris was offside. And yeah, so very interesting to note there. Once again, it looks like it was actually Zach Benson who wound up high-sticking Norris. So once again, they're just showing some of their top-line struggles at home ice in the second round. Once again, Thompson's a -7, Tuck's a -6, and Krebs is a -4. So those three who have been their top line in the postseason have not been overly good here for the Buffalo Sabres. Once again, we're going to have another offensive zone face-off draw here, or actually neutral zone face-off draw between the Sabres and the Habs. Tuck in the offensive zone, in the neutral zone, is able to get the puck back, and Buffalo has it. The red line sends it in and chases after it. Here come the Sabres trying to take it off of Dobson. They are able to. McLeod to the point. Nice stop on dome by Jakub Dobish, and Montreal gets the puck back. Send it into the neutral zone, and Bolduc is able to get the puck back. Shoots, stopped, rebound. Nice stop from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and now there's some more rough stuff from the Sabres and the Habs in front of the Buffalo Sabres goal. So very interesting note there. A couple of good stops from Dobesh and Ulukinen from both sides. So really good stuff there. 16 and a half left in the second period. Still a 2-0 lead here for the Montreal Canadiens. So once again, Golaie with a stretch feed, he was able to get it to Bolduc. Bolduc got it, stopped by Luukkonen. It was put on goal by Doc, and he was able to stop that one too. So a couple of solid stops from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Nice jobs there from Luukkonen to stop both Doc and Bolduc. Once again, the Habs do have a 5-2 record on the road, so that's very interesting to note there. Once again, offensive zone faceoff draw here from Montreal. Krebs loses his stick, and the Sabres are able to gain the puck possession. Buffalo gets it along the boards, tries to chip it ahead, and they are able to. Mallenstein fighting for it in the neutral zone with a couple of Habs players. It gets back into the Buffalo zone. Dono gloves it down, and I think this might be he closed his hand on the puck, which is a stoppage in play. So I think this might be coming back to the neutral zone. 13-12 left, and the 13-12 are the shots in favor of the Montreal Canadiens, and it is currently 16-17 left in the second period with a still 2-0 lead for the Montreal Canadiens. So that is very interesting to note there. Once again, first Game 7 since 2011 when they lost in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals to the Philadelphia Flyers 5-2 for the Buffalo Sabres. So that's been a while since they've had a Game 7 appearance. Buffalo has it in their own zone. Power. Nice pass, and he's going to turn it over, but Power is able to recover nicely, gets away from Doc, and is able to send it back to Benson. Benson skating through the neutral ice, skating through everyone. Here comes Zach Benson, gets it to Norris, puts one on goal, and that one short side couldn't be found home. Buffalo's got in their own zone. Power across, and they are able to tip it in. Nice play there from Norris. Norris trying to keep the puck in away from one of the Montreal Canadiens players. I think that was Hudson, Kant, and Timmins now has it. Timmins across to Thompson. Thompson's trying to skate around from Lane Hudson. Thompson is going to get off the puck, but he does send it deep. Buffalo tries to fight for it. Bolduc gets it, sends it around the boards, and Montreal is able to get the puck out. So solid play there from the Habs. Sabres do gain possession. Oh, what a hit from one of the Habs players. Sent a Sabre into the boards. And Buffalo is not able to get the puck. And now it's an interception, it looks like. And Buffalo may have a break here. Here come the Sabres, 3-on-2. Zucker tries to get across Kent. And Helenius can't find it either. They do get the puck away. Shot! And that one might have been blocked in front. The puck gets back to Helenius. Helenius to Quinn. Quinn looking for a passing lane. He has Power at the point. Or actually, Dahlin, he leaves it for him. Dahlin was a shot. Stopped. I think that might have hit a body in front. Buffalo leaves it. Once again, Matheson's the only one there, so they are able to get the puck back. Maybe a little bit of break here from Montreal. Slavkovsky to Suzuki, who just dumps the puck down, and Buffalo goes in after it. Samuelson and Helenius fight for it. Helenius is able to get the puck, and he is going to stop up, looking for a passing lane, and he gets it to Alex Tuck. Tuck gets it to Dahlin. Dahlin dumps it in, and now Buffalo has it in the neutral zone. Sabres looping back around, trying to stop up and get something going here. McLeod has it below his own goal line. Ryan McLeod looking for it into the offensive zone. McLeod looking, and they lose the puck. Demidov's got it now. Demidov to Dobson to Hudson. Hudson is going to send it. It's just going to get it into the neutral zone. Actually, that's Golaie, mind you. And the Habs do dump it back into the Buffalo zone. Both teams go on a change. And Samuelson's got it. Stretch feed, trying to get the puck in, and they are able to. Buffalo gets the puck, and McLeod cannot get the puck, but they are able to get it along the boards. Buffalo holds the line. Nice play from Tuck. Gets it, and that was actually not held in by Owen Power, and that's going to lead to a stoppage in play for Buffalo and Montreal. Neutral zone faceoff draw for Montreal incoming, just outside their own blue line. Once again, 2 first-period goals have the Habs up 2-0 on the Buffalo Sabres. So very interesting to note there. Once again, you guys are not missing anything. We are in a commercial break, so very interesting to note there. It'll be interesting to see if the Sabres are able to come back. I really hope they're able to. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has been pretty good in the first period and a half. So really, I'm not putting this one on Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, but they got to get some offense going and some pucks past Dobesh if they want to have any shot at winning this game. And once again, Montreal's a decent team defensively. Carolina's a lot stingier, so you're going to have to fight a lot harder for goals if you do make it to Carolina. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Once again, just give me one quick second here, folks. Just going to try and check out something here. So just give me one quick second. Let's see. That looks good. Okay, just give me one quick second here, folks. Just gonna try and do something here. Let's see. Hold on a minute here, folks. Let's do this and move this around here. So I do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, and I thank you for it. So that's really good. Once again, we will be back as soon as the second period, as soon as the period gets back underway. So that will be very interesting. So far in this game, Zach Bolduc and Philip Deneau both have goals. That has led the Montreal Canadiens to a 2-0 lead over the Buffalo Sabres. Once again, you are not missing a thing right now, so that is very interesting to note there. Let's see here. We're just about to get back underway for the start of the for the continuation of the second period. So that's very interesting to note there. So let's go back here to the Sabres and the Habs. We're back from commercial break, so you do not miss anything. Once again, Dahlin has 9 points this series, which is a Buffalo Sabres, I think, record, it seems like, for a defenseman. So once again, Buffalo's not much success in their postseason over the last couple of postseason attempts, or actually in their entire history. So once again, Deneau is waved out, and Texier comes to take the offensive zone faceoff draw for the Montreal Canadiens. Once again, it's in the neutral zone. Sabres, Habs fighting for it, and the Sabres are going to wait for it. Buffalo, Montreal fighting for it in the faceoff dot, and Buffalo wins it all the way down the ice. Luukkonen stops it, and the Sabres do get the possession back. Off the wall, into the neutral zone, and this one goes, I think it went out of play maybe. We'll see. Might have hit one of the Habs sticks, but there's definitely a stoppage in play. So once again, Buffalo down 2-0 right now to the Montreal Canadiens. Once again, their one Game 7 win in franchise history was in 1997 when they took on the Ottawa Senators and the Buffalo Sabres were able to win it. So that's very interesting to note there. But once again, this team has not had much success in Game 7s. Neutral zone face-off draw just outside the Buffalo Sabres blue line. And let's see here. It is going to be Zucker and Anderson are fighting along the wall, but Montreal does win the face-off, and they get back into their own zone. Montreal looking for some sort of passing play. They are able to get it deep into the Buffalo Sabres zone, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is able to cover up. So that's a solid cover up there from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen after the dump in from Montreal, and the Habs will have an offensive zone face-off draw. Once again, if you guys are just joining, leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment, tell all your friends best hockey content on YouTube right here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. So it'll be very interesting if you guys were able to subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos come out in the very near future. Offenses on face-off draw here. Suzuki against Helenius in the face-off dot to the left of Luukkonen, and Suzuki is able to win it. They get back to the point. Hudson being challenged gets it to Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky to his knees, gets it back. It's a shot, backhander. Nice stop there from the Habs. And the Habs are able to send it, get back, and once again, they're offside, so they have to stop up. Buffalo's got the puck in the defensive zone, and they're going to try and get away. Once again, Byron trying to skate away from Cole Caulfield. He is able to. Nice tip. Goes into the Habs zone. Habs get back. Hit a Hab player, goes right on Dobesh, and he's going to play the puck. Nice play there from Dobesh, and he sends it all the way down the ice. Buffalo's now got it in their own zone. Sabres trying to get some sort of passing lane going here, and they are able to. And here's a little bit of a break. Buffalo in. It looks like it's Norris. Norris trying to get a passing play around. He can't. Norris does get back to Thompson. Thompson below the goal line. Trying to get something in. Shot! That was short side. Could not find it. Norris trying to get away from Hudson in the offensive zone. Fighting for all on the boards. Norris is able to get the puck back. Josh Norris spinning away from a couple of players, but Suzuki gets the puck first. Buffalo does hold the line for a second. Dahlin's taken down. I don't think that's a penalty. Buffalo keeps the puck in the offensive zone. Trying to send it to Dahlin Camp, but they do get the puck back. Thompson shoots, and that puck is loose, but it's just in front, and Habs are able to get the puck. And now there is a penalty on the play. I'm not sure if this is on Montreal or Buffalo. Suzuki's on the ice, so we shall see what this penalty is about. Once again, a couple of good opportunities from both the Sabres and the Habs, but there is a stoppage in play. Thompson trying to go short side, or actually it was Quinn trying to go short side after scoring twice. He just hit it on the outside of the post, so it was close, but not close enough. And let's see here. It looks like there is a penalty. Maybe there's not. It might have just been a stoppage in play. Let's see here. And once again, they're just looping back around. I think this might just be an offensive zone faceoff draw here for Buffalo. So let's see. Once again, offensive zone face-off draw here for the Sabres. and McLeod is going to win the draw. McLeod gets it, and Benson goes after it. Matheson around the boards, gets it back to the point. Buffalo and Montreal fighting for it. Actually, I think that puck went out of the zone. So that'll be a offensive zone faceoff draw, I think, for Buffalo, with still a few minutes left before the second intermission. So that's really good news there for the Montreal Canadiens. Once again, they're just showing some of the close-ups of the people on the bench. Once again, shots are currently 14-12 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. So they do have a 2-shot as well as a 2-goal advantage on the Buffalo Sabres. So that's very interesting to note there. Buffalo loses the faceoff draw, but they're going to redo it here. It's the no out in the faceoff dot against Norris. And Norris and Deneau both go for it. They're going to redo it again. Deneau is going to be won the faceoff dot, gets it to Matheson below the goal line, and Matheson clears it out, tries to send stretch feed, can't. Buffalo is able to pick it off in the neutral zone, and they try and set something up. Here comes Buffalo in the offensive zone. Dahlin across to Benson. Benson looking for a passing lane, shoots, and that one stopped. Nice try from, I think that was Norris. Norris trying to keep the zone, can't. Montreal is able to clear the puck, they send it into the neutral zone, and they are able to keep it. Texier's got it, but Buffalo with the intercept, and they send it back into their own zone. Trying to set something up here. Here comes Buffalo. Nice play to Dahlin. Dahlin dumps it in, and it's turned over, and here comes Montreal on a breakaway. Anderson shoots, and that one's stopped, I think, by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and Anderson's down. He went hard into the net. That is not good. Josh Anderson's down in a heap. He was trying to shoot that puck over Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and yeah, he went hard into the net. He's hunched over right now. We shall see if he's going to be all right, but that did not look good. Let's see what happens here. Once again, Habs trying to enforce the advantage and take the lead. And Anderson's on his knees now, slowly getting up. Might have just taken the win out of him, which would be very fantastic if it wasn't anything serious. We'll see this again. Once again, the puck was just hopping around. It was right to Anderson. He tried to go over the net, and he just slid right into the post. So that's not great stuff there. Anderson, it was stopped by Luukkonen. It went over the net, and then Anderson just slid right into the post. We'll see a better angle here. Oh, yeah, and that might have actually been a little bit upper body first. So that's not great news there. He's once again just getting looked on along the bench, hunched over a bit right now. So not great news there for Josh Anderson, but he went hard into the boards. Neutral zone faceoff draw. And Montreal is going to send it into the Buffalo zone. Buffalo trying to get the puck back out. The Tucks got it along the boards, and Buffalo's now got it. Byram gets it back to Power. Power sends it to Dahlin, and now it's a stretch feed. Here come the Sabres trying to make some moves. It's Helenius, and he is going to be stopped. Actually, that was Dome, mind you, who was trying to make the move. Stopped. Nice play there from Golaie to stick with him, and that's going to be a stop there from Jakub Dobeš with 11:10 left in the second period. So that's really good stuff there for Montreal. Still haven't seen a power play for Buffalo, and only one power play in the entire game so far. So once again, very disciplined game so far between both teams. Josh Doan tried to go between the legs of Kean Golaie, but couldn't. And once again, it was just stopped by Jakub Dobeš, so a solid play there from Dobeš. So really good stuff there. Once again, offensive zone faceoff draw here for Montreal and Buffalo. Buffalo wins the offensive zone faceoff draw, but turns it over, and here comes Montreal again. The Habs just dump it in. Suzuki goes after it after the dump in from Slavkovsky. Suzuki is able to get there at Caulfield, and that one's blocked. It might be a 4-on-2 here for the Sabres. Helenius gets it to one of the other players. Montreal intercepts it. Maybe a little bit of a break here for Suzuki. Suzuki into the offensive zone, sends it to Slavkovsky, tries to get to Caulfield, and the Sabres are able to take away the puck. Here comes Buffalo into the offensive zone. It is Zucker who sends it deep. And Buffalo, oh, what a hit from one of the Sabres players. A huge hit that might have been from Malenstein. And Buffalo cannot get the puck in the neutral zone. Here comes Montreal. Shot. That one stopped, and the puck goes wide. Now here comes Buffalo again. Krebs tries to get a pass, and it was a little bit wide. Timmins is able to get the puck back, and now Buffalo's going to step up. Krebs can't keep possession, and Dobson dumps it in. Dahlin, though, has it below the goal line, and Dahlin is just going to pass it across. This is right now Greenway. Greenway into the offensive zone, sends it to Mallenstein. Mallenstein into the offensive zone looking for a passing lane, sends it back, gets it to Greenway, back to the point, shot, tipped in front and just goes wide. Buffalo's another nice shot, and a nice stop there from Jakub Dobesh. Buffalo gets it back to the point, another nice shot, and that one might have been hit, and that one I think hit Jakub Dobesh, and he's going to cover up. 9:46 left in the second period. Looks like we're just about to go to a commercial break. A 2-0 lead right now for the Montreal Canadiens. So very interesting note there for the Habs and the Sabres. Once again, a nice try there from Mallenstein with a shot, trying to go short side. Another nice stop from Dobesh, who's been able to shut the door. And that puck was a little bit loose in between his pads, but he was able to cover up. So solid play there from Jakub Dobesh, keeping the Habs up 2-0, and we're going to a commercial break, so you are not missing a thing. Once again, the next game of action is going to be on Wednesday. West Final Game 1 between the Knights and the Avalanche will be very interesting. My next live stream will be Game 1 of the Canes and the whoever wins this series, Habs or the Sabres. And that one's going to happen on Thursday, so that's my next live stream, Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And then Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, we do have another game, Game 2 of the Western Conference Final between the Knights and the Avs, and that's our next live stream as well. So I'll be streaming on Thursday and Friday this week, so I hope you guys are all able to tune in to that game later this week. But we do have this game here tonight, so there'll be no games tomorrow, and then there'll be one game every day for the foreseeable future until one of the series in the conference finals ends, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm picking Vegas to beat the Colorado Avalanche in 7 games. You guys might call me silly, but once again, Vegas is my favorite team, so I'm going to be rooting for them. I think they have a shot to advance to the conference final. They're going to have to hope Colorado's still a little bit banged up from their series with Minnesota, and that Marner's able to put up the production he's been able to in the first 2 rounds. If those two things happen and Hart plays the way he did in the first 2 rounds, I'm liking Vegas' chances, but I know a lot of people out there will say that the Colorado Avalanche are going to have the Colorado Avalanche are probably going to win that series. So very interesting note there. Once again, they're just showing some of the highlights from a couple of the games a while ago. I think that was Martin St. Louis in a Game 7 in 2003. So very interesting note there. Offensive zone face-off draw here for Norris and the Sabres. Norris is going to be waved out, so it's Thompson and the Sabres who have the offensive zone face-off draw. Thompson against Evans in the face-off draw between Buffalo and Montreal. And let's see here who's going to wind up winning this one. Thompson, Evans in the face-off dots. Once again, they're just waiting for a couple of players to move around on the ice, and they try and drop it again. Thompson against Evans in the face-off dots, and it is Thompson who wins it, but Montreal intercepts. Matheson turns it over. Oh, nice stick there for one of the Habs players. They are able to get the puck back. 3-on-2 for Montreal. However, they turn it over, and Buffalo has it the other way. Thompson, nice play, and they're just going to try and set up shop back in their own zone. Dahlin's got it. Dahlin, nice feed. Buffalo going after it. Here comes Benson fighting for it, and that puck gets looped around, and Montreal's able to intercept it, and Montreal has the puck again. Demidov to Evans. Evans dumps it in, sends it around the ice, and Buffalo is able to chip it, but they can't get it out. Now they do get possession of the puck, and they are able to change. So solid play there from Buffalo. A nice play there to Benson. Benson skating around looking for a passing lane. Is able to get it. Hits it to Byram. Byram passes it. Nice play there to Norris. Norris gets it to Power. Power weaving his way in. Leaves it for Benson. Back to Power. Power looking for a passing lane. Hits Byram. Byram around. Shoots! And that one just goes wide. Norris at the point. Or actually, that's Byram at the point. Byram back to McLeod. And McLeod can't keep the puck. Montreal's able to get the puck back, and they get around the boards, intercepted. And here comes Buffalo around the boards, around the net, trying to get something going. Once again, this is, I think, one of the shots, and that one goes wide. Buffalo gains possession again. Once again, it's left for Doan. Stone has it. At the point, shoots. Trying for a tip in front. Can't find it. Loose puck in front. And that's stopped by Jakub Dobeš with a confident glove save. Another nice try from the Buffalo Sabres. Some really good offensive zone pressure, but Dobeš stands tall, and the Montreal Canadiens hold on to their 2-0 lead with 8:14 left in the second period. Once again, some really good options here from Buffalo. Try to hit someone in front. A nice stop there from one of the another nice try there from one of the Sabres players. Let's see exactly who was that. I think that was McLeod. It was no, it was Tuck who was trying to shoot that puck, and he was just not able to put it past Jakub Dobeš. So very interesting to note there, but the Buffalo Sabres do wind up not being able to capitalize on a couple of really good opportunities here. Helenius out there in the faceoff dot with Quinn and Zucker, and Helenius is going to lose the draw. Montreal's able to get the puck back. Goolie's got it around the boards. Nice pass. Tries a stretch feed, and Buffalo is able to regain possession in their own zone. Nice play. Tries to get it. And once again, Helenius racing in after it against Goulet. And Goulet is able to get there first, get the puck back, and once again, it's turned over. Buffalo. Nice play. Zucker just lost a handle on it. He's able to get it on the boards. Buffalo regains possession. Quinn trying to keep the puck, can't. Goulet is able to intercept it. Puck goes around the boards. Buffalo keeps it. Nice play there. Buffalo can't hold the line, though, and now here comes the Montreal Canadiens. They get back, send it in, and chase after it. Once again, Buffalo is going to... That puck took a weird bounce, hits Montreal at the point. Habs keep it in, shoots, and that one goes up and out of play. Nice up there from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Once again, we're going to go into a commercial break here, I think. Maybe we'll see. A nice try there from some of the Habs players to extend this lead. But Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, besides a couple of goals, has actually been pretty dang good here for the Buffalo Sabres. So very interesting to note there. 7.5 left in the second period. Montreal up 2-0 and well on their way to moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. So really good stuff there from Montreal. Starting to look bleaker and bleaker that the Buffalo Sabres are going to be able to come back. Only have 27 minutes to do so. So it's looking very, very bleak for the Buffalo Sabres right now. They probably got to get a quick goal if they are going to have any shot at coming back in this game. Buffalo around the boards. Tipped, and Buffalo does get the puck back. Here comes the Buffalo in the offensive zone. Krebs loses the puck, turned over to one of the Montreal Canadiens players, and the Habs do get the puck around the boards. Sabres keep it, though. Sabres get it back down below the goal line. Greenway's got it. Greenway below goal line, trying to find some sort of passing lane. Mallenstein intercepts it, back to the point. Texier intercepts it, but it's turned over. Buffalo does keep it. Krebs, and he's walloped into the boards. Nice hit there from one of the Habs players. Samuelsson trying to dig the puck free is able to. Samuelsson gets it below the goal line to Krebs. Krebs looking for a passing lane, hits it to Greenway. Greenway to the point, stopped, and I think that was Metsa. Greenway gets it back to Mallenstein. Mallenstein trying to feed something in front. Another shot, scores! Samuelsson! Sabres on the board. It's a 2-1 game. A huge goal from Mattias Samuelsson, of all people. This dude has 4 goals in the postseason, and that one could have come at a bigger time. 2-1, a huge one. Dobeš had way too many bodies in front. No idea where that puck was, and Samuelsson just had pinpoint accuracy. Buffalo's back in the game. It's a 2-1 game. Greenway got it to Mallenstein. Mallenstein got it to the point, took a deflection off a couple of people, and a nice, beautiful shot from the offensive defenseman that is Mattias Samuelsson, and the Buffalo Sabres are back in this game. It's 2-1. A huge goal from Mattias Samuelsson. Let's see here. Once again, this is going to 1. A huge goal from Samuelsson, and with 7, I think, minutes left, Samuelsson has a 4-game point streak. 6:41 left in the second period. This game's still not over yet, folks. It's a 2-1 scoreline for the Montreal Canadiens. 6:40 left in the second, and Buffalo wins the offensive zone faceoff draw, or the neutral zone faceoff draw, but they're going to redo it here. Norris against, I think that might be Evans. So really good stuff here. Buffalo's back on the board. 17-15 shots on goal for the Montreal Canadiens. And that's a huge win there for the Buffalo Sabres to get that first goal of the game. Samuelsson has been having himself a playoffs. So really good stuff there for Mattias Samuelsson. And let's see exactly who else is going to be able to wind up taking it. Shots are now 17-16. Buffalo loses the neutral zone faceoff draw. Carrier turns it over to Benson, who gets into the Montreal zone, but it's turned over again. Buffalo gets it, however, they're offside, so they have to tag up. Montreal gets in their own zone, and they send it into the neutral zone. Suzuki tips it in. Buffalo goes after it. Power has it. Power turns it over, and Buffalo is able to get the puck to the boards, but that's all they can do. Suzuki is sent around by, I think, Lane Hudson. Buffalo's able to get the puck back. Thompson double teamed. Montreal's able to get the puck, and Power's now got it. Power sends it, and Benson can't keep it, but he is able to get it back to Power, who gets to Byram. Byram into the offensive zone. Bowen Byram crosses it, shoots, and that one stopped. Another nice stop there from Jakub Dobesh to keep that a one-goal game. Buffalo gets it back in their own zone. 5:50 left in the second period. 2-1 game for Montreal. Sabres just scored from Samuelsson, and the Sabres are able to get the puck back in the offensive zone again. Shoots, and that one's wide. Buffalo's got the puck. Dahlin, they're feeling it now. Shoots. I think that was Tuck with a nice stop. And Montreal trying a stretch feed, can't get there. Buffalo gets the puck back in the neutral zone, sends it into the Montreal zone. Dobesh is going to leave it for one of the Habs players. Buffalo got it, and Montreal sends it into the neutral zone, and Buffalo is going to not be able to get it. Montreal, nice play there from Newhook. Dumps it in. Evans has got it around the boards. Montreal looking for a passing play, and Montreal gets it below the goal line. Evans to Demidov. Demidov sends it back to Evans below the goal line, being shadowed by one of the Sabres players. Gets it back to the point. I think that's Lane Hudson, who dumps it into the offensive zone. Demidov and Newhook fighting for it with Dahlin and Samuelsson. And McLeod is able to get the puck back for a second. Buffalo and Montreal still fighting away at it. And Buffalo gets it around the boards. Nice play there. Dobson. And one of the Sabres are taken down in front. I don't know if that's a penalty or not. I don't think so. But here comes Buffalo 3-on-2. Tuck. Hit off the boards. Now maybe a little bit of a break here for Montreal. Stretch feed. Here comes Caulfield. Shoots. Stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and UPL with a huge stop there. 4.5 minutes left in the second period, and once again, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has come up big at a couple of points in this game. Nice shot from Cole Caulfield. Better save from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and this score is going to stay 2-1 as we head to another commercial break. So you are not missing a thing. If you guys are still here, give a subscribe, like, comment, tell all your friends best hockey content on YouTube right here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. So if you can, leave a subscribe. It really does help with the channel. And it really does help me continue to do this stuff here. So I really do appreciate it, guys. Once again, we will be having some more breakdowns on after the intermission, during the intermission, so we'll see what exactly happens. Once again, some really good stuff here. Samuelsson with the goal right now to get the Sabres back in the game. Let's see. Once again, we're going to have some very interesting conference finals over the next couple of days. So on Thursday, we do have the Western Conference Final, or Wednesday, we have the Western Conference Final between Colorado and Vegas. That's going to be a very entertaining game. On Thursday, we have Eastern Conference Final Game 1, and I'm going to be streaming that game, live play-by-play of Canes versus either Habs or the Sabres. So it'll be very interesting to note there. And then we also have the... just give me one quick sec here. We do also have the Game 2 of Western Conference Final on Friday between the Avalanche and the Knights. So that's going to be very interesting, and I'm also live streaming that one. And then Game 2 of the East Final will be on Saturday. I think 6 o'clock, might be 5 o'clock, but either way, those are going to be some very interesting games. We're back here, Sabres and Habs. Been very, very interesting so far in this game. In this series, once again, 2-1 Habs are winning a tight-knit game right now. The Sabres came back from a 2-goal deficit last game. Can they do it again? Once again, Samuelsson with that huge goal to give Buffalo life. And we shall see exactly what winds up happening. Once again, rough talking with a couple of his players on the bench. I think there was an offensive zone faceoff draw for one of these teams after we went into the break, and it was for Montreal. Hudson has it back to the point, and Montreal is just going to be able to tip it in as they are offside. One of the Habs touches it, so there'll be a neutral zone faceoff draw here between Montreal and Buffalo. Shots are now 18-16 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens, so they do have the edge in the shot department. So that's really good stuff there from Montreal. Once again, some really good stuff here so far between both teams. 2 first-period goals. Montreal gave them a 2-0 lead, but a really recent goal from Mattias Samuelsson has given the Buffalo Sabres some life. Sabres win the draw, get back in their own zone, and it's tipped back into their own zone. and it is Power off the boards, gets it back into the neutral zone, into the offensive zone. Dobesh loops around the boards, and the puck goes back into the neutral zone. Buffalo is able to get the puck back. Byram passes it across to, I think that was McLeod, gets it to Benson. Benson moving around a couple of players, gets the puck back, and one of the Sabres are taken down, and Norris can't find that loose puck. Still haven't seen a power play in this period yet, and now one of the Sabres are taken down again. Carrier's got it. Carrier dumps it in. Nice try there from Suzuki. And the puck was, I think, gloved down into the benches by Cole Caulfield, so that will lead us to another face-off draw. Once again, very interesting stuff. 3:40 left in the second period. Still a 2-1 lead for Montreal. And once again, Greenway was in front of Jakub Dobesh, a big reason as to why he never saw that puck coming from Matthias Samuelsson. So that was a really good net front presence from Jordan Greenway. And really good stuff there from Matthias Samuelsson. So really good stuff there. Once again, we're going to have another neutral zone face-off draw, I think, between the Habs and the Sabres. Let's see here. Yep, neutral zone face-off draw just outside the Sabres blue line. Helenius against the no. And Helenius was waved out. Zucker comes in to take the face-off draw. So it'll be Zucker against the no in the face-off. And Deneau wins it, but goes all the way down back into his own zone, and Helenius chases after it. Montreal is able to get the puck back. They send it all the way into the neutral zone, and Buffalo can't keep it away from Montreal. Anderson gets it deep into their own zone. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen leaves it for Dahlin, and they set some things up here. Here comes Power. Nice stretch feed, tipped in. Buffalo looking for the passing play. Gets it, shoots! Oh, just hops over Helenius' stick. They are able to gain possession, though, along the boards. And now Montreal's got might be a 3-on-2 here. Here's a break, and this one might be an icing. It's not. Buffalo's though got it, and this might be a 3-on-3 breakout here for the Sabres. Quinn just dumps it in as they go off on some changes. Buffalo's got it, or Montreal's got it, but Zucker with a huge hit on Carrier, and Montreal's able to keep possession. Habs have it in the neutral zone. Entering the offensive zone, it's Jake Evans, who dumps it in for Ivan Demidov, who gets it around for Newhook. But Buffalo is able to gain possession back, and they are able to have it in the neutral zone. Samuelson's got it again here. Matthias Samuelsson drops it for Krebs, and the shot was stopped. The Sabres get the puck back along the boards, looking for a passing play. Shot, and that one I think went over the net. Buffalo fighting for it, trying to find it. Habs get there first, and Carrier's now got it. Carrier dumps it along the boards, and Buffalo can't get the puck out. Shot from one of the Habs players. I think that was Anderson. Stopped. Now here comes Buffalo. Maybe a break from Allenstein, trying to get away from Hudson, can't. Mallenstein trying to find for the puck, gets it around the boards. They do get the puck back to the neutral zone, and Montreal may have a 3-on-2 break here. Montreal into the offensive zone, gets it around the boards, puts it on goal, and that one gets put back to the point. Another nice shot from Hudson, but he can't put it home. Montreal below a goal line, sends it around the boards. Hudson trying to get it low, and they can't. Buffalo's got the puck. Nice feed there. And here comes McLeod. McLeod into the offensive zone, leaves it for Tuck. Tuck sends it back deep, trying to get to one of the Sabres players down there. Can't. Dahlin around the boards, and the Sabres are not able to keep it in. They are able to for the time being. Here comes Buffalo with a shot, and that one goes up and over the net. Sabres do get possession back. Dome back to the point. Hits it to Power. Power to Dahlin. Dahlin shoots, and that one goes wide. Nice try there from Buffalo. A minute and 10 seconds left in the second period. Power keeps possession of the puck. Power below the goal line, trying to keep it away from a couple of the Habs players. Once again, all these players over a minute. Tuck trying to jam away at it, and a couple of Sabres trying to get it. And here come Montreal. They're just going to chip it into the neutral zone. Dahlin's got it. Gets it to Doan. Doan tips it in. Here comes Tuck. Tuck in front. And McLeod can't put it home. Another nice stop from Jakub Dobesh. And once again, Slavkovsky and McLeod are now fighting, going at it. 48 seconds left in the second period. 2-1 for the Montreal Canadiens. Still no goals. Penalties in this period so far between the Habs and the Sabres. Helenius just lost an edge one time. Krebs with a shot that was a little bit on edge. Stopped by Jakub Dobesh. Once again, another nice stop on Josh Doan just put a shot high. And another nice try there from McLeod, who tried to bat it down onto a stick, but just lost an edge. So nice try there. And then Slavkovsky came and started to engage with him. So very interesting note there. Face off to the left of Jakub Dobesh. and Montreal is able to win the draw. They feed it back into the neutral zone. Buffalo is going to glove it down, and they are able to get the puck back. Here's Norris into the offensive zone. Norris trying to find a feed. Thompson, Benson looking for it. The puck's loose in the blue paint, and they can't find it. I think they're going to whistle that dead. No goal. What a stop from Jakub Dobesh. So the Buffalo is pushing hard to end the second period. They're now out shooting Montreal 20-18, and it is still 2-1 for the Montreal Canadiens. Dobesh has been phenomenal in this game. Buffalo trying to get a center feed, can't. And yeah, there was just that puck was loose. No one knew where it was. Dobesh found it, was able to cover it up and draw the whistle. So a solid play there from Jakub Dobesh to keep the Sabres out of the net. So really, really good stop. And there was a couple of flopping bodies that might have saved the goal too. Let's see. Yeah, that puck maybe Carey stopped one too, and then he found it around Jake Evans. So 31 seconds left here in the second period. Buffalo pushing for the equalizer. Montreal trying to at least get this game to the second period, through the second period, and into the third. Once again, Buffalo wins the draw, but they're going to redo it here. Norris against the no in the face-off dot. And once again, referee just giving out some instructions. Norris and Danault, they fight for it. Habs who gain possession. Might be a little bit of a break here for Montreal. They are able to get the puck into the Buffalo zone. Byram going after it, and Buffalo is able to get the puck back. Owen Power, nice play, is going to stop up. Nice pass to Thompson. Tage Thompson with 14 seconds left. Gets the puck into the offensive zone. Shoots! Stopped by Delbish. Thompson tries to center one in front, and the shot, and it goes wide. Norris behind the net, around to Thompson. Once again, fighting for it. 2 seconds left, and the Habs are going to survive this late onslaught by the Buffalo Sabres. A million grade A scoring chances for the Buffalo Sabres, but Dobesh says no to all but one of them and keeps the Habs in front 2-1. Some great options late in this period from Thompson. Try to center one for Norris. A couple of good stops on Norris. And just some really good stops from Jakub Dobesh. However, in this period, Buffalo did score, and it's now a 1-goal game. So we will change this to intermission now, as we are going to be heading to the intermission block. So that's very interesting. We'll give you the intermission report. Just give me one quick sec here, folks. And then we'll go and do the intermission report. So very interesting to note there. Let's see here. Let's go over to the intermission report. So let's see. So the shots are now currently 22-18 in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. So they heavily outshot the Montreal Canadiens in that period. Once again, the only goal scoring summary was actually Greenway. They're going to give it to him. They said he got a piece of it. So Greenway from Samuelson and Mallenstein with 6:41 left in the second period has given the Sabres life and made it a 2-1 game. That was the only goal of the second period, so very interesting to note there. Once again, face-off percentages are in the Buffalo Sabres' favor. They've won 21 of 41, so they do have the edge on the power play. On the face-off percentage, once again, power play. There were no power plays in that second period, so Montreal still 1-for-1, and Buffalo still has yet to get a power play in this game. And then, of course, Montreal leads in the hit category, 21-13. Montreal leads in the block shots category, 15-3. Buffalo leads in the giveaway category, 9-7, and Montreal leads in the takeaway category, 5-1. So Montreal leads in most stats, including the most important one, the score at the top of the score screen. So very interesting note there. Montreal is looking great. But Buffalo had a late push there, and they have come back from down to nothing goals before. Very interesting to know there. But once again, they are able to keep it a 1-goal game, which is huge. Big third period upcoming. Do the Habs keep the lead, hold on, and get it across the finish line? Through the Sabres come back yet again, like they have a couple of times in this series, like they did in Game 1 of the postseason in KeyBank Center? And are they able to just send it back to overtime potentially, or can they get it done in regulation? 2-1 game can go either way, folks. So don't leave. We're still going to be doing some very interesting third period recaps. So, very interesting to note there. Let's see here. Hold on a minute here, folks. Let's see. Once again, not really a whole bunch of things that have happened here over the past couple of days. Brendan Pridham was let go by the Toronto Maple Leafs as the assistant GM. So with the fact that Daniel Chayka is now the new GM, that isn't too surprising. But Pridham was a pretty big piece of that Toronto Maple Leafs team over the past number of years. So to see Pridham wind up leaving is not overly good, but it's not unsurprising. So very interesting to note there. Once again, the Memorial Cup finalists are Kitchener from the OHL, are Chicoutimi from the QMJHL, are Everett from the WHL, and are Kelowna, who's the host team. So those are the four teams who will be fighting in the Memorial Cup. If you guys watch juniors, you guys will probably know that. So very interesting to note there. Once again, it's going to be a very interesting next couple of weeks. As we said, as we hit the conference final, once again, 28 teams are going to be entering off-season mode. So we're going to be transitioning slowly out of the playoff sort of style of action. I'm going to transition into the off season. That'll be very interesting. I'll have trade content out probably late May, early June. We'll have the last few off season preview videos posted. I'll continue on with the What If the NHL Had a Script series until the Stanley Cup final. Maybe we'll do one for the draft and free agency, but at least until Stanley Cup final, we'll continue on with the What If the NHL Had a Script. We'll continue on with the power rankings until the Stanley Cup final. So once the Stanley Cup final hits, I will turn off the power rankings series, and that'll be it for the year for the power rankings. So that'll be very interesting to note there. When it comes to other videos, I will have more trade rumor videos and news and rumor videos over the next couple of weeks. We'll start to incorporate a third one throughout the entirety of the week. So that'll be very interesting. Probably have more skits, like shorts, fan reactions to things like that over the summer. And once again, July, August are usually slower months. September, we start to gear up for the next season, and then October is the start. Or actually, I think it might actually be September is the start this year of the next season. So, like I said, we're going to start transitioning out of playoff content over this next week and a half. And we're going to start slowly transitioning into off-season mode. So expect more off-season previews, more news videos, more trade recaps when the trades do happen, more free agent board videos, more trade board videos, and things like that over the next couple of weeks. So that's currently my things right now. Give me one quick sec here, folks. I don't want this to die. So I'm just going to plug it in. So we're going to slowly transition out of playoff mode and into off-season mode over the next couple of weeks. I'll still have a couple of play-by-plays throughout the week. Probably going to go from like trying to hit 4 a week to probably hitting 3 over the next couple of weeks, and I'll try and hit a couple of Stanley Cup Finals games. I'm not going to say I'm going to do all of them. I'm going to try and hit around 3 or 4 of the Stanley Cup Final games, depending on how long the series go. So that will be very interesting. Once again, it will be very interesting to see how the next couple of weeks go. Who goes to the Stanley Cup final this year? We will have a new Stanley Cup champion, and we will have 2 new Stanley Cup finalists. Vegas has not been there since they won the Cup in 2024, or actually 2023. Colorado has not been there since they won the Stanley Cup in 2022. So those teams have won Stanley Cups recently. The Hurricanes are going there. They haven't been to a Stanley Cup final since 2006, if I'm correct, against the Edmonton Oilers. So it's been quite a while since the Hurricanes have been able to make it to the Stanley Cup final. And then we got one of these 2 teams. The Habs haven't been to a Stanley Cup final since 2021 when they won the West final and advanced to play the Tampa Bay Lightning in the weird realigned year. Buffalo, I don't think's been to a Stanley Cup final since 1999 when they lost to the Dallas Stars. So it'll be very interesting to see which teams wind up winning these games and advancing to the Stanley Cup final. It's going to be Buffalo. It's going to be Montreal. It'll be very interesting. Montreal's 20 minutes away right now from advancing to the Stanley Cup final or the Eastern Conference final, and Buffalo's got 20 minutes to try and pull themselves back together and get the equalizer and potentially the goal-ahead goal. So very interesting to note there. Once again, some very interesting games so far. And we're going to have a couple more. Like I said, I'll have about 3 videos per week for the conference finals over the next 2 weeks. And then we'll just do, I'm planning on doing game 1 of the Stanley Cup final, whenever that is. Probably not game 2. I'm probably going to do one of game 3 or game 4 of the Stanley Cup final, and then all the elimination games. So we'll have to see how the schedule looks and how I'm feeling about all this stuff. But I'm planning on doing game 1 of the Stanley Cup final when it happens. game 3 or game 4, and then if it goes beyond game 4, I'm going to do any of the elimination games. So game 5, game 6, game 7. So it'll be very interesting to note there. But that is currently my projections for my next live streams. And then, of course, after Stanley Cup final finishes, my next live stream after that will be the draft in late June. Once again, I usually do a live stream for the NHL's entry draft. So I'll do it on, I think, Thursday or Friday night, whatever it was. And then the following day, I'll do it in the morning, as I usually do. I know a lot of people don't pay a lot of attention to day 2, but there's usually a lot of trades that happen on day 2, and I usually try to cover rounds 2 through 4 in the draft. So I'm probably going to try and do that again this year in June. And then, of course, July 1st, free agency day. So we'll probably try and do a shorter live stream on July 1st. There's usually not a whole bunch of things that happen right away when it comes to free agency day. And on top of that, this year's free agent class is pretty lackluster. So I might only do like an hour and a half to 2 hour live stream for free agency. Maybe just do a couple of smaller videos talking about all of the free agents that are getting signed. So it'll be very interesting to note there. But I'm planning on doing a live stream for the draft, a live stream for free agency, and a live stream for a couple of the Stanley Cup final games, as well as some of the conference final games. So I've got a couple of live streams. Probably not going to do a whole bunch of live streams in July and August. Once again, those are very slower months in the NHL system. So once again, we'll see how things shape up. But my next live stream will be on Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, as we will be doing Carolina hosting the winner of this game here. So we're getting very close to the third period starting here between the Habs and the Sabres. So we are going to change this here. Start of the third seems to be coming up in the very near future, so really good stuff there. Once again, I'll just reiterate this to you guys because there's not really a whole bunch of other things to talk about. I recently did a little bit of deep diving and trying to figure out exactly how many conference finalists there have been over the past 7 years since the 2020 season. So basically, since the 2020 season, the COVID postponed season, I broke down how many teams want to make it to conference finals since the turn of the decade, the start of the decade at 2020. And basically, since the start of the decade, there's not been a whole bunch of teams who have made the conference final. Vegas has made the conference final, I think, 4 times since 2020. Dallas has made the conference final 4 times since 2020. Colorado twice, and Edmonton 3 times. Those are the only 4 Western Conference teams since 2020 to have actually made it to a Western Conference final. It's not much better in the East. Carolina's been there 3 times. The Rangers have been there twice. The Islanders have been there twice. I think the Bolts have been there 4 times. I think 3 times actually might be. Florida's been there 4 times. We'll see who ends up going on. Montreal's been there once. Are they going to be able to be there twice? So once again, we've not had very much variety of teams make it to the conference finals over the past couple of years. Montreal, Florida, Tampa, only ones in the Atlantic. Carolina and the New York's only teams in the Metro. Colorado and Dallas, the only Central Division teams. And Vegas and Edmonton, the only Pacific Division teams. So we have not had a whole bunch of variety when it comes to potentially having some new Eastern Conference or Western Conference finalists. So that's why I'm really hoping for Buffalo here, because that at least give us a 7th team in the Eastern Conference who's made the Eastern Conference final in the last, 7 years now. So it'll be very interesting to see there. Once again, we shall see if the Sabres are able to come out on top. Once again, you're not missing anything. We are in a commercial break, so very interesting to note there. Montreal, Buffalo, a very interesting game. Let's see exactly what else happens. Once again, it'll be very interesting to see what happens at the draft. There's a lot of talk about a couple of high picks being available for trade, so I do expect us to be very busy with trades in June. I do expect there to be a little more trades than usual because there isn't as much free agents. So that could be very interesting to note there. But I do expect it to be a pretty busy off season. We still do have a couple more minutes left in intermission, so very interesting to note there. Once again, Colorado trying to make it to their first Stanley Cup final appearance since 22, Vegas since 23, Montreal, if they are able to win it, since 2021, Buffalo, if they are able to win it, since 1999, and Carolina, first Eastern Conference final appearance since 2006. So very interesting to note there. Once again, if you just guys want my schedule for the next couple of days, I do have a couple of off-season preview videos already edited. I was not able to post them before I was able to start my live stream, but I'm hoping to get them finished up and posted after the live stream. So I'm hoping to get both the Caps and Jets off-season preview as well as the Sharks and Preds off-season preview up and running just after the live stream, hopefully within the next hour or two after the live stream ends. Of course, depending on if this game goes to overtime or not. So that's my next video that's going to be coming up. Tomorrow, I'm hoping to do What If the NHL Had a Script, as well as fan reaction and game recap. So I'm hoping to do all three of those videos tomorrow. Once again, fan reaction, game recap never usually take too long. We'll see how What If the NHL Had a Script goes, but I'm hoping to get all three of those ones posted tomorrow. Wednesday, hoping to post my playoff predictions for round 3 and round 4, hoping to see if maybe I can predict the right conference Stanley Cup final matchup after we figure out who's going to be playing in the conference finals. And on top of that, we also are probably going to try and do like a news and rumor video, so we'll see about that. On top of that, we do also have off-season preview, or power rankings are going to be coming out on Thursday. Off-season preview is going to be coming out on Friday, and trade rumors is going to be coming out on Saturday. And like we said, we're going to try and do a couple of play-by-plays on Thursday and Friday as well. So that will be very interesting. Once again, you are not missing anything. We are still 3 minutes away from the start of the third period. It'll be very interesting to see if Buffalo is able to take it or not. Let's see. Once again, they're just going to the last commercial break, so you are not missing a thing. Once again, not a whole bunch of things going on here. I expect there to be a whole bunch of more things coming out over the next couple of days, couple of weeks. As we exit May, there's less than 2 weeks left in May, so May's going to fly by with the conference finals. And then June, it's going to be a start of the Stanley Cup final, going to be a start of most seasons, off seasons. So it'll be very interesting. They're all leading up to the draft in late June and the free agency in early July. So that is very interesting. Once again, I'll try and do some more videos as we get to the I'll try and do more videos as we get closer and closer to the start of the Stanley Cup final, or to the start of the off season. And once again, it'll be very interesting. June, end of May, June, start of July, always very interesting and very busy days. Once again, late July, August sort of starts to become a little bit of a dead spot. And then, of course, September, October, you start the new season up again. So will be very interesting to see how the next couple months go. Once again, we'll see how everything plays out. But don't plan on doing a whole bunch of videos probably in August or July. So it'll be very interesting to see where those players get traded to, where the free agents wind up getting going. So we are very close to the start of the third period. So I'm going to be placing this back. Just give me one quick second here, folks. I'm going to place this back. And we are going to be ready for the start of the third period between the Habs and the Sabres. We shall see which teams wind up winning. It will be very interesting to see if the Habs or the Sabres do wind up taking this game. We'll change this here and see if something happens. So it'll be very interesting to see if the Sabres are able to come out, start the third period well, and come back and take this victory. I really do hope they are able to. So let's see here. Once again, you're not missing a thing. We are just waiting for the start of the third period. So very interesting to note there. Once again, I do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. We are just in a commercial break, so you are not missing a thing. So it'll be very interesting to see which way this game goes. Do the Sabres win? Do the Habs win? It will be very interesting to figure out. Once again, they're just showing some of the stuff here. Once again, it's just a commercial break, so you're not missing a thing. Sorry for that, you guys. But we do have a very interesting third period upcoming here for the Habs and the Sabres. So that's very interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, we are all caught up. So we're just waiting for this commercial break to finish. And then it will be very interesting to see which way this one goes. I'm hoping and praying the Buffalo Sabres are able to come back in this game and send themselves to the conference final, but we shall see. Once again, this is the only series so far in the entire NHL playoffs that has not gone to overtime yet, so that's very interesting. I wonder if we do see overtime later tonight, so we shall see, but we are just about to head back to the start of the third period, as the third period looks like it's just coming up here. So let's see exactly what happens. Once again, they're just showing some of the highlights from the first two periods. Jakub Dobesh has been fantastic for the Montreal Canadiens, keeping out some of the pucks. Buffalo really pushed hard at the end of that second period. We'll see if they're able to keep the momentum in the third period. So that'll be very interesting. I really do hope that they are able to. Jakub Dobesh has been fantastic. Once again, just try and put a couple of pucks past him, try and get like 1-2, and then try and hold on to like a 3-2 lead or something like that. Once again, I think they were down 2-1 in game 4 against Montreal too. So like they've won 3 games. They're down 2-1 in game 4. They're down 3-2 in game 6 in the last game. They started out pretty well in game 1, but 2 of their 3 games this year have been 2 of the 3 wins in this series have been come from behind victories. So it would not be one bit surprised if Buffalo maybe tries to push for something. Shots are 23-18. Buffalo is able to lose the faceoff dot. They win the faceoff drop that goes right into the Montreal zone. Dobesh turns it over. Thompson with a shot. That one was blocked. Goes below the goal line. Montreal and Buffalo fighting for it. Montreal gets it on the boards, and Montreal turns it over. Norris gets it to one of the defensemen, tries to go after the puck. He's got a little bit of space. Norris, and I think that might be an offside call or something. There's a stoppage in play either way. So, very interesting note there. 3 straight games, 7 road wins, allowed 1 goal in each game. So, Habs have been pretty good on the road in game 7s. Once again, we know Buffalo's track record of game 7s. They've not been good in them. So, very interesting note there. 19:38 left in the third period. 2-1 Montreal over the Buffalo Sabres. Montreal wins the offensive zone, the neutral zone faceoff draw, and they're able to keep possession along the boards. Montreal dumps it and chases after it. Buffalo's going to get there first, fighting for the puck, and Power gets it. Actually, no, it's McLeod who gets it to Doan. Montreal keeps it on the point, and the puck is in Buffalo, and Buffalo's got it. Nice cross feed there to McLeod. McLeod trying to stop it up. It's intercepted, but McLeod's going to be able to get the puck back in the neutral zone. McLeod gets it, sends it deep. Thompson goes after it. Thompson and Hudson fighting for it. And the Montreal Canadiens are not going to be able to get there. Caulfield's got it. Sends it deep into the Buffalo zone. And Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen leaves it for Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin sends it. Nice play there from Helenius. Tips it into the Montreal zone. Montreal gains possession again. Goalie below the goal line. Sends it to, I think that was the no. And Montreal's able to get it to the point. Buffalo gets it back. Montreal in their own zone, and it's Texier. Texier sends it to one of the Habs players. And Montreal gets it below the goal line. Buffalo trying to fight. Oh, there was a high stick, I think. Samuelson took a stick to the face. This one might be the first power play of the game for the Buffalo Sabres. 18:26 left in the third period, and Samuelson's just seeing to try and shake it off. It looks like the no is going to be going to the penalty box. So, very interesting to know there. I think the Sabres are finally going to get a power play. Yep, that was definitely to know high-sticking Matthias Samuelsson. So, once again, Samuelsson checking for blood because that would lead to a double minor. But looks like it's just going to be a 2-minute minor for high-sticking. So, first power play of the game for the Buffalo Sabres. In games they've won, they've been able to score in the power play. Let's see if they're able to. They've had some really good pressure to start the third period. Once again, they're probably going to need a miracle to get another one past Jakub Dobesh, but you never know, so we shall see what happens here. Thompson loses the faceoff draw. Montreal's got it around the boards, and it goes all the way down the ice, and Buffalo's going to have to stop up to get it. Dahlin in his own zone is able to get it. Remember, Buffalo is 20% on the power play in the postseason. Dahlin's got it, leaves it back for, I think that was Thompson. Thompson, nice play there, and they get it deep. Here comes Buffalo, and they're able to get a Quinn across to Benson. Benson's got some space, gets it back to the point to Dahlin. Dahlin to Thompson. Thompson sends it back. Shot, Quinn! And that one was stopped, or it might have been blocked in front. Buffalo's going to get back to the point. Nice play there from Quinn to Thompson. Thompson sends it deep, but once again, that puck was offside. Buffalo has to stop up, and they're just going to send it. Montreal sends it back into the Buffalo zone. Minute 12 left. And the power play for the Buffalo Sabres. Captain Dahlin skating with it. Skating through a couple of Habs players, gets into the offensive zone, loses the puck, but does get the puck back. Along the boards, fighting for it with a couple of Habs, and Montreal is able to get the puck. Zucker taken down, and once again, Montreal is able to clear zone. Buffalo's going to have to tag up. 50 seconds left on the Buffalo Sabres power play. Buffalo's got the puck. Entering the offensive zone, it's Alex Tuch. Tuch into the offensive zone. He's got some space. Trying to find some sort of passing lane, can't. Buffalo is able to keep it up for a couple of seconds, but Montreal is able to get it back out. Evans across to Newhook. Newhook shorthanded, 1-on-2, and he's just going to dump the puck in. Norris has the puck. 25 seconds left on the Sabres power play. Here comes Josh Norris into the offensive zone. Actually, he's just going to get to the red line, dumps it, and here comes McLeod and sends it over to Tuch. Tuch sends it deep, can't get there. Montreal gets it, clears it. That's going to do it for the power play. A nice try there from Buffalo, but they're going to fail on this power play attempt. 16 and a half left, third period, still 2-1 for the Montreal Canadiens. So a very good try there for Buffalo. Penalty is now over. Buffalo does have the puck in the offensive zone. Gets across, shoots, and Dobish was to stop. The rebound's below the goal line. Montreal trying to get at it. Byram's got it around the boards. Malenstein's now got it. Malenstein trying to get away from one of the Habs defenders, and he is able to for a second. I think that was Philippe Deneau. Dobson is able to get the puck back. Dobson, Deneau, Malenstein, a couple of guys fighting for it. Buffalo gets it to the point, but they can't keep it, and Byram's got it now in the neutral zone. Here comes Buffalo. They stay on side. Nice play there. Buffalo shot, and that tipped one was just wide. Buffalo's got it on the board, so it's Greenway. Greenway trying to set something up. Shot goes off the net and below the goal line to get it along the board. Suzuki hit off Malenstein with a shot, and that one goes wide. That one fell just beside Dobish, but a couple of Habs players are able to get there first, and that should be an icing call. Looks like it will be. So offense is on face-off draw for Buffalo with 15 and a half left in the third period. Montreal 15 minutes away from advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals. So really good stuff there for the Montreal Canadiens. And remember, when Montreal went to the Western Conference Final a couple of years back, no one expected them to beat Vegas, and they were able to. So that's very interesting. Once again, let's see how this goes here. Win in the defensive zone by Montreal, but they're going to redo the face-off draw, and it'll be Deneau out there right now against, I think it's Norris. And Norris does win it. Buffalo keeps possession. Buffalo has it. Walks in. It's Dahlin. Dahlin shoots, and that one's tipped just wide. Benson's got below the goal line, trying to feed it in front, can't. The puck goes straight up, and Montreal is able to get the puck back. Deneau chips it into the neutral zone, and it's Samuelson. Samuelson gets it to the neutral zone where Montreal's able to regain possession. Deneau across to one of his defenders, and Montreal's going to try and get a change. Once again, nice play there from the Habs, and they do get the puck back. It's Evans who has the puck taken off of his stick. Jack Quinn into the offensive zone, trying to leave it for one of the Sabres players. Can't. Habs do have the possession along the boards. It's turned over to Buffalo along the boards. Now a board battle here, and Buffalo is able to gain possession. They dump it back into the offensive zone, and Montreal's got the puck. Montreal trying to get away from Buffalo, and they are able to. Matheson stops up and tries to refresh. Here comes Mike Matheson. It's the offensive zone, and he's going to leave it for Newhook. Shot stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and the Sabres are able to get the puck back, and they can't get it out. Montreal keeps the line. Nice play there. Here comes Montreal. Matheson in, shoots, and that one goes wide. Montreal gets the puck back across to Hudson. Hudson to Matheson. Matheson shoots, tipped by Newhook, stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Newhook's got it again around the boards. Demidov in front, but it's intercepted. Maybe a 2-on-1 break here for Zucker and Helenius. Helenius gets the puck back. Helenius looking for a passing lane. Gets to the Byram! And that one's stopped. Buffalo gets the puck back to the point. Now it's Helenius again. Helenius, Byram! And that one's blocked. Byram keeps the puck. Helenius! And that one's stopped. Rebound! And the puck is on the line! And Dobish is hits. And Dobish does not... he was holding his head. He hit his head on the ice pretty badly. Let's see here. Dobish looks like he is back up, and it looks like there is no penalty on the play, I don't think. Maybe a goalie interference call on Zucker. We shall see. Once again, Dobesh yelling at the refs, saying why wasn't there a call or things like that. Let's see here. Looks like we are going to be going to a commercial break right now. Once again, Matheson with a shot stopped, or actually hit the crossbar. Nice try there from Mike Matheson. And Dobesh, let's see here. That puck was scooped in the blue paint. And then Zucker was pushed into Dobesh, and Dobesh wound up hitting his head on the ice. So that's not great news there for the Montreal Canadiens. And we're going to a commercial break. So I think Dobesh is all right. He got up and started arguing with the ref for goalie interference, but I think Zucker was pushed into him, so we shall wait and see if there's a call on that. But I don't think there was. So very interesting to note there. I'm glad you guys are all still with the stream. If you guys are able to, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe, tell all your friends. Best hockey content on YouTube is right here at the End to End Hockey channel. It's going to be a very interesting last couple of minutes here. It's going to take a miracle for Buffalo to get one past Dobesh, I'm just going to be honest, but it's looking like Montreal's going to be going to the Eastern Conference Finals, so unfortunate, but it looks like Buffalo's pretty dead in the water right now. We'll see if they're able to get some sort of hope in their game, but it's looking really, really like Montreal's going to be able to advance to past another Game 7 into the conference final. So very interesting note there. Remember, Montreal, for the start of the conference final, is going to have 12 days off of game action. So that's a long layoff for the Carolina Hurricanes from the second round to the third round. It'll be very interesting to see if they are able to stay alert and shake off the rust early on, or if Montreal or Buffalo, it looks like Montreal is able to wind up getting the job done and wind up win game 1 and 2 because of the rust that Carolina might have. So it'll be very interesting to note there. Dobesh still skating it off after being pushed into goal crease by Jason Zucker. So that's really good stuff there. Once again, it looks like Suzuki pushed Zucker into Dobesh. So I think that's why there was no penalty, because Zucker tried to whack at the loose puck. Suzuki hit Zucker, and Zucker hit Dobesh, which caused him to tumble over. So that's very interesting. Looks like there is no penalty on the play. Buffalo has offense's own face-off draw here. Buffalo is going to, let's see here. Once again, they're just telling them some orders, and Montreal is able to win the offense's own face-off draw around the boards, and Buffalo is going to be able to keep it. Tuck shot! And that one's tipped just wide. Nice try there, and it goes up and out of play. I think there'll be another offense's own face-off draw here for the Buffalo Sabres. So really good stuff there from Buffalo. Shots right now are 3-0 in the third period in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. They've been really good. Tuck trying to go to far side, trying to put it past Dobesh's blocker, but just was not able to. So really good stuff there. Once again, I think this is an offense's own face-off draw here for Buffalo again. Let's see here. It looks like it is to the left of Jakub Dobesh. So very interesting to note there. Deneau against McLeod in the face-off dot. And McLeod wins the draw back to the point. Here's Power. Power looking, Power, pass across, shoots, scores, Sabres, they tie it up. It's Rasmus Dahlin. He scores again. He had a 5-point night in Game 6. Sabres tie it at 2. Buffalo's back in this one. They've overcome an early 2-0 deficit. They've tied it at 2. We've got ourselves a game, folks. Dahlin, the captain, coming up clutch. 26 shots for the Buffalo Sabres to Montreal's 18. 13.5 left in regulation. Two game, and a huge goal from Dahlin. Once again, won it to the point. The Power had it to Dahlin, and Dahlin with just a huge short-angle shot gets it past Jakub Dobesh, and this game is tied at 2 apiece. What a goal from Rasmus Dahlin. And this game is 2 apiece, and this one is now 2-2. We'll see how this one goes. Montreal dumps it back into the Buffalo zone. Buffalo goes after it, and they are able to have it. Samuelson around the boards, and the puck is left. Montreal goes after it. This might be an icing call. And they wave icing off. Montreal has it below the goal line, and they send it back into the Buffalo zone. Buffalo gets there first. It's Samuelson being shadowed by Slavkovsky. Samuelson loses the puck, but he gets it to Dahlin, and Dahlin looking for a passing lane. Stretch feed. Nice play there. Thompson tries to send it to Benson. Can't. Might be a 3-on-2 here for Montreal. Montreal's got it into the offensive zone. Slavkovsky shoots, and that one's stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and it looks like it went out of play. Yes, all tied up. Once again, I'm pulling for the Buffalo Sabres because they are my fourth favorite team, but I wouldn't mind the Montreal Canadiens winning. But yeah, Buffalo has had a very strong second half of the second period, start to the third period, and keeping center is buzzing. So I'm loving that. Dahlin and Samuelson with the goals. So Buffalo's got 2 goals from the defensemen in this game, which is absolutely fantastic. And they've had to come through clutch. Shots are currently 27-18 in favor of the Montreal in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. Offensive zone face-off draw here for the no. He gets it to Hudson. He's going to be able to handle it. Hudson puts one on net. It's blocked, and it goes back into the Montreal zone. Montreal trying to get it back first. Zucker going after it. Nice hit from Zucker on Caulfield. Habs turn it over. Sabres get the puck back. Habs have it in their own zone. It's Noah Dobson. Dobson sends a stretch feed into the neutral zone. Texier is able to keep it. Alex Texier loops back around, sends it across to, I think that's Lane Hudson. Hudson looking for a passing lane, is able to get it to Dobson, shoots, and that puck was blocked. Dobson gets it back. Dobson again. Dobson trying to get a pass across to Danault. Can't. Danault is able to corral it now. Pass in front, tipped wide. Nice stop there from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and Buffalo's got the puck back. Maybe a 3-on-2 here break for the Sabres. It's just not going to be able to, but Helenius does have it. Helenius was a shot. Stopped by Dobesh. Once again, Anderson. Pass in front, and the puck is going to be jammed away. Nice play there. Might be a 2-on-1 break here for the Habs. The no is just going to dump it back into Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who covers up. So, solid play there from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and it's a 2-2 game right now between the Sabres and the Habs. 11:53 left in the third period. So maybe we see overtime here. This has so far been the only series out of the first 12 series in the first 2 rounds that has not hit overtime yet. Every single other series has had at least one overtime game in the postseason so far. This is the only one that's not hit overtime. So are we destined for an overtime game? We shall see. Remember, Buffalo is so far the only team who has not won an overtime game and won the series out of the first 11 series that have finished. So very interesting to note there. Demidov has it, passes it in front. It's not going to be hit by any of the Habs players, but the Habs do get possession along the boards. Fighting for it, turned over, Tuck has it. In the neutral zone, dumps it into the offensive zone, and the Sabres chase after it. Dobesh leaves it, rims around the boards, and Buffalo is able to keep the puck. They do get the puck back. Here's Timmins with a shot, stopped by Jakub Dobesh. It's turned over, Buffalo's got the puck back again. Nice play there from the Sabres. Is that a tripping penalty? It doesn't look like it. Once again, Sabres fans want a tripping penalty. I don't think there's one coming. Timmins across to Samuelson. Samuelson below the goal line, or actually that's McLeod, loses the puck, turned over to Montreal. Montreal has it in the defensive zone, chip it along the boards, but Buffalo keeps it for a second, and now Buffalo's going to be able to gain possession back in the neutral zone. Buffalo now has it, and they just send it into the Montreal end. Montreal's got the puck in the neutral zone, and they're making some line changes, so they're just going to stop up in their own zone. 10:54 left in the third period, 2-2 game here, Buffalo, Montreal. Matheson's got it, sends it into the Buffalo zone, and Buffalo's going to get the puck back into the Montreal zone. Benson looking for a passing play, gets it deep. Norris going after it, as is Benson. The puck goes up and in the air. Buffalo's going to lose the possession in the boards. Montreal's got the puck, and they're going to be able to set some things up here. Here come the Habs into the offensive zone. It's Suzuki. Suzuki looking for a passing play, shadowed by a couple of Sabres players. The puck goes back into the middle of the zone. Montreal has it, shorthanded once again, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in the blue paint is able to cover it up. So very interesting note there. No problem, man. Thanks for the nice comment. I really do appreciate it. Once again, if you guys do want to tune in on Thursday, we'll be having Game 1 live stream of the Eastern Conference Final between the Canes and the winner of this series. Might be the Habs, might be the Sabres, don't know at this point, but the Eastern Conference Final Game 1 it will be streaming on Thursday. So if you guys do want to tune in, love to see that. So I really do appreciate that. Once again, offensive zone face-off draw here for Montreal. 10:16 left in the third period. Shots are 29-19 in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. And this is currently a 2-2 game. Buffalo has had the majority of the pressure so far in the third period and have equalized the game. Buffalo along the boards is able to get the puck out, and Buffalo may have a little bit of a break here. Here come the Sabres trying to get stretch feed, centering feed can't, and Buffalo is able to get possession. Krebs below the goal line. Point blast! And that one stopped. Rebound! It's in! And wait, they're saying the whistle went first. I think the whistle might have actually gone first. Once again, we'll see here. The puck did trickle across the goal line, but it looks like the whistle did go first. There's 9:59 left. They're seeing if they can maybe review this. Refs looking at the iPads along the benches. We'll see here. I don't think this one's going to count. Once again, I think that was actually Malenstein who had a shot there to put that one home. But once again, let's see here. Krebs had it back to the point, and I think the refs lost sight of the puck. Or actually, they might have said that it was in the pads and it was poke checked out of it. Let's see. Dobish had it in the pads. Greenway poke checked it, and Malenstein put it in the nets. And I think that's why they're calling this no goal. So a nice try there from Buffalo, but 1 second beyond the halfway point of the third period, and this is still a tied up game at 2 apiece. Once again, we're in a commercial break, so you're not missing a thing. Really interesting game so far. Remember, this game started out with an opening goal 4.5 minutes in from Philip Deneau, a goal that went off of his skates and in. That led the Montreal Canadiens to a 1-0 lead. They were able to get a 2-0 lead on the power play. It was Zach Bolduc that was able to give them a 2-0 lead. That's the way it was at the end of 1. At the end of 2, it was 2-1 because of a second period goal with 6.5 minutes left from Matthias Samuelsson that I think was actually tipped by Jordan Greenway. That made it a 2-1 game going into the third period. And just a few moments ago, the Buffalo Sabres have made it a 2-2 game thanks to a goal from Rasmus Dahlin. Tie game right now. It could go either way. Both these teams have been playing fantastic tonight. First half, it looked like it was Montreal's game to lose. Second half, Buffalo's been able to bring this back. And we'll see exactly how this game is able to finish. Do the Habs recover from blowing this 2-goal lead and wind up holding on to get the victory? Or do the Buffalo Sabres come from behind, get another come from behind victory? It will be the third come from behind victory they would have in this series alone and send themselves to their first Eastern Conference final since I think 07 or 06. And a rematch of the 06 Eastern Conference Final against the Carolina Hurricanes. That'll be very interesting. If you guys are still here, leave a like, subscribe, comment. Tell all your friends best hockey content on YouTube right here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. So very interesting to note there. Once again, you're not missing anything. We're in a commercial break. We are just... once again, you're not missing anything. We are in a commercial break. We're just getting back from here, so very interesting to note there. Once again, they're just showing some of the big moments. And in June, I think it was 2017 or 2018 when they drafted Dahlin, or I think it was 2018 when they drafted Dahlin and they traded for Tage Thompson, which is helping them right now. Montreal has the puck. They send it into the Buffalo zone. Buffalo is able to recover. Buffalo, nice try, and Thompson can't get there first. So it's an icing call on Buffalo with 9:47 left now in the third period. We'll see if Buffalo is able to mount the entire comeback or if Montreal is able to probably wind up recovering. So we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, I wouldn't be overly upset with Montreal, but Buffalo is my fourth favorite team, so I'm pulling for them to get the win here. But once again, they've even had 30 shots on goal, but still only 2 goals to show for it. Dobish has been fantastic. It would take a really big miracle for them to pull off another goal and get another one past Jakub Dobish. So very interesting note there. Buffalo does win the faceoff draw back into their own zone. Power around the boards. And that one's going to go all the way into the Montreal zone. Carrier is going to turn it over, and Montreal's going to get it back, and they send it back into the Buffalo zone. Power around the boards, stopped up by Montreal at the point now. Matheson sends it to one of the Habs players along the boards, gets it to Evans. Evans shoots, and that one's stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Samuelsson along the boards, and Evans stops up in the neutral zone. Evans trying to keep the possession. He is able to. Gets it across to Newhook. Newhook sends it down. Nice play there. Evans gets it back, and the puck is in front, and it hits a couple of people. Newhook's got it, and Newhook sends one in front, and that one's stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Playing up is Golaie, trying to center something, can't. Now maybe a little bit of a break here for Buffalo. Norris has it into the offensive zone. His landmates are going off on a change, so he just dumps it in. Montreal's going to get the position in their own zone. Bolduc hit off the puck. Gouli's got it, sends it across to one of the Habs defensemen, and Montreal's able to get the puck in. Lane Hudson goes after it. Byram sends it around the boards. Buffalo gets the possession back, and here's Alex Tuch. Tuch sends it deep into the Montreal zone. And Montreal's able to get the puck in their own zone. Hudson fighting for it with Tuch. Tuch's going to get it. Tuch passes it back to the point. trying to get some sort of passing lane here. And nice feed backhand from Byram, and it goes up and out of play. I think it goes blocked by Lane Hudson. 8.5 left, third period, 2-2 game here between the Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens. So very interesting to note there's some really good puck movement from the Buffalo Sabres in the offensive zone. Just weren't able to get one past Jakub Dobesh. Once again, Byron trying to backhand feed past Dobesh, but went off of his stick and up and out of play. So another offensive zone face-off draw here for the Buffalo Sabres. Let's see here, 8:23 left, third period. Shots are 30-20 in favor of the Sabres. Still a 2-2 game. So once again, it'll take a miracle at this point for Dobesh to let in another one. So very interesting note there. Matheson along the boards, and he's able to clear it out. Buffalo has to take up. Buffalo has the puck in their own zone. And it is Power swinging away from a couple of Habs players. They send it deep. Nice tip, so there's no icing here. The no hit off the puck by Zucker. Trying to get the puck in front, and stopped by Jakub Dobesh. Another nice stop from Dobesh, as Buffalo had another nice attempt after the pass from Jason Zucker below the goal line, but another nice stop there from Dobesh with 8:03 left in the third period. So we'll just see another highlight here. Zucker beat Dano to the puck, passed it across to Hellenius, and Hellenius was not able to put the puck past Jakub Dobesh. He's had 2 shots tonight, 4 attempts. Hellenius has been a pretty good pickup here for Buffalo in these playoffs after coming over from, I think it was like Liga or the SHL or something. He's had a couple of good stints at the NHL over this year. Montreal is going to clear it into the neutral zone, and it sends right back to one of the Buffalo Sabres players, and the Sabres are not able to get into the Montreal zone, but they do get the puck back, and it's sent back into the Montreal zone, where Montreal is going to be able to stop up and set up. Matheson across to Carrier. 7:45 left, third period, 2-2 game right now, so very interesting to note there. Once again, Matheson in his own zone, just trying to stop up and let his teammates get a change. Matheson sends it across to Slavkovsky, who dumps the puck in. Habs go after it, and it's sent in front, and Caulfield can't get the puck. Hudson does get the puck, though. Gets it across to Matheson, tipped in front, and now Hudson's got it. Hudson, and his shot is just wide. Nice stop there from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Montreal pressing here, trying to get the lead again. Montreal looking for the puck in the corner, along with Buffalo. Couple of players trying to fight for that loose puck. Buffalo's got Krebs in there. They got Dahlin, and they are able to get the puck out. Nice play there from Buffalo. And the Sabres just dump it in. Malenstein goes after it against Lane Hudson. Malenstein takes out Hudson. Both of them go falling, and the puck is taken by Buffalo. They get around the boards, back to the point. Nice play there. Shot tipped in front, and that one goes wide. Byram's got it now back at the point, trying to get away from Caulfield. Is not able to. Hudson's got it, sends it across to Slavkovsky, who turns it over, and Buffalo's going to turn the puck back over to the Montreal Canadiens. Here comes Hudson. Hudson is going to get away from Thompson and set something up here, gets it to Newhook. Newhook into the offensive zone, through some speed, and that one just goes wide. Nice try there from Alex Newhook, back of the point. Montreal's got it, and that one goes wide. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is going to jump on the rebound. 6:16 left. Third period, 31-20 shots on goal right now for Buffalo, and it is still a 2-2 scoreline. So once again, Hudson had a nice shot here. They're just showing some of the replays. And Slavkovsky with a nice tip. And it was a nice stop there from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. And some really good opportunities here from the Montreal Canadiens to try and retake the lead after blowing a 2-goal lead. But still, it's been a pretty decent game and pretty decent period so far for both sides. Once again, it'll take a miracle for Buffalo to get a goal past Jakub Dobesh with the way he's playing. So I still think Montreal has pretty good chances to win this game. But we'll see. You never know what could happen with one lucky bounce could change everything. So we'll see here. Demidov has the puck taken off of his stick, fighting for it along the boards, and the puck goes back into the neutral zone. Montreal's going to have to go back into their own zone and try and reset some things up here. 5:57, third period, 2-2 game, game 7. Winner go on to the Eastern Conference Final and advance to play Carolina. Montreal has it in the neutral zone, poke checked off of their stick, and they're able to get a puck back. Goalie gets it, sends it deep into the Buffalo zone. Buffalo's able to get the puck back. Power across to Byram, who turns it over. Montreal's got the puck. Anderson to Texier. Texier looking for a passing lane. Texier is going to lose the puck, but he gets it back to Dano. Dano has it. Looking for a pass in front. Can't find one. Trying to keep the puck possession. He is able to. Matheson sends it deep, and Buffalo can't get that loose puck. Buffalo's trying to get the puck around the boards. They are able to, fighting for all on the boards. And here comes Buffalo. Maybe a little bit of a break here for the Sabres. It is McLeod who stops up, leaves one, and Dowling was a shot. Stopped by Dobesh. 5:05 left third period. There's going to be another face-off in the Montreal zone. So we're going to go to a commercial break here by the looks of things. Really good stop here on Jakob from Rasmus Dahlin on Jakob Dobesh. They're just showing the highlights of Greenway poke checking the puck out of the pads of Jakob Dobesh after the whistle went, and Malenstein putting it home. But once again, you can't poke the puck out of pads out of a goaltender who's already stopped the puck. So very interesting note there. We got 5.5 left in regulation. This one might go to overtime. This is the only series all playoffs long that has not hit overtime yet. All the first round series has hit overtime. The other 3 second round series all hit overtime at least once. So we'll see if this is going to be the overtime game for this series, or if this series is actually going to be finished in regulation. So we'll see. Remember, the Sabres have come back in a couple of their wins this playoffs. In Game 1 of Round 1, they wound up coming back from a 2-0 deficit to win 4-3 over the Boston Bruins. Once again, they came from behind, I think, in Game 3-2, because they were down 1-0 early, and they stormed back to win 3-1. I don't think they came back in that final closing game. They also didn't come back in Game 1, but in Games 4 and Game 6, they did come back from deficits as well. So I think 3 of the Sabres' 7 wins, or actually 4 of the Sabres' 7 wins in this postseason, have been come from behind victories. So this isn't anything too out of the ordinary for the Buffalo Sabres so far in these postseason. And we'll have to wait and see if Buffalo is able to wind up advancing here, if this is Montreal's game to lose. Once again, Montreal has looked like the better team for a majority of this game, and has also looked like the better team for a lot of this series. And they've had a couple of really big blowouts. So it'll be very interesting to see which Atlantic team is able to go on to the conference finals. This is the Habs' first conference final appearance since 2021, when they went to the Cup final against Tampa. Or is this Buffalo's first conference final appearance since, I think it was 2007 when they lost to Ottawa, or it might have been 2006 when they lost to Carolina. So it'll be very interesting out there to see who ends up coming away with the victory. There's still 5 minutes left in this game. 2-2 offensive zone face-off draw here for Buffalo, and the Sabres are able to win it. Benson's got it below the goal line, trying to get away from Carrier. Is not able to. Carrier is all over him. Benson falls down to the ice. A couple of Sabres and Habs players fighting for it. Thompson is able to get the puck, and Thompson fighting for it along with Matheson. Thompson gets it back to the point. They get back. Dahlin was a shot, and that one goes wide. Nice try there. Thompson trying to wrap around. Can't, and now might be a 2-on-1 here for the Habs. Slavkovsky gets it to Suzuki. A little bit of a miscommunication there, and Suzuki just has to dump it down as he goes off on a line change. Slavkovsky, though, does go after it. The Habs are able to get in front, and that one goes deflection wide. Nice try there from the Habs, and here comes Buffalo. Jack Quinn into the offensive zone, trying to get around a couple of players, and is taken down. No call on the play by the looks of things. Caulfield's got it across to one of the Habs players. Buffalo's got in their own zone, and Byram is going to lose possession of the puck. Here's Power below the goal line, trying to find some sort of passing lane, gets it to Byram, and Byram's now got with 4 minutes left in the third period, maybe a 3-on-2 break here for Buffalo. Nice try there for Quinn, trying to get a centering feed, can't, and now maybe a 3-on-2 here for the Habs. Demidov into the offensive zone, gets it across, picked off, try to get it to Kapanen, and the Sabres are able to get the puck possession back. Helenius just dumps it in as the Sabres are tired, and they're going to go off on a line change. Once again, Habs have it in their own zone. Carrier in his own zone, trying to set something up here. Here comes Alexander Carrier. He's going to dump the puck into the offensive zone, and Habs go chasing after it. Buffalo is able to regain possession, though. Nice play there from Doan. Doan is going to dump it into the Montreal zone, but it's picked off in the neutral zone, and Buffalo's going to regain possession. Timmins tries a stretch feed. Doan gets it, sends it across the boards. Buffalo can't keep the line, and here comes Montreal. Maybe another break. Actually, Demidov is pretty tired, so he's just going to dump it down into the Buffalo Sabres zone. Buffalo has in the offensive zone. It's Tuck. Tuck looking for it. Tuck passes it back. Dahlin shoots! And that one's up and over the glass. 3:01 left in the third period. Still a 2-2 game here between Buffalo and the Montreal Canadiens. Both teams trying to have a shot to advance to the Eastern Conference Final and a shot at the Stanley Cup waiting for them after a very interesting conference final appearance against the Carolina Hurricanes. Once again, they're just showing their clip here. Dahlin tried a shot on goal. Once again, it was deflected open over the glass by Josh Anderson. So very interesting to note there. Shots are currently 33-20 in favor of the Sabres. And it's still been a very close game. 3:01 left in the third period. Offensive zone face-off draw here is lost by the Sabres, and Montreal clears the zone. And here come the Habs, trying to go after it. Shots! And that one stopped. What a stop from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen on the partial breakaway. Buffalo's going to get possession in their own zone. They chip it into the offensive zone, and here comes Thompson. Tage Thompson in. Is going to dump it in. Buffalo goes after it. I think that was Benson and Norris. Benson's got it below the goal line. Benson back across to Thompson. Try to go short side. Dobish was ready for it. And now Montreal's skating into the Buffalo zone. Texier dumps it in. Montreal goes on a change. 2.5 left. Third period. 2-2 game here between the Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens. Nice pass there along the boards. Tipped in by Buffalo. And here comes Malenstein. Malenstein looking for the loose puck. Trying to get that puck back. Very interesting to note there. And here come the Habs in the offensive zone, trying to get that puck away. Buffalo may have a little bit of a break here. Here comes Greenway, I think that is. Greenway backhands a pass in front, and Montreal's going to intercept it. Once again, Buffalo has the puck again. Nice try there. Malenstein's got it. Shots from Timmins, and that one's just wide. Nice try there. Montreal trying to get the puck back, and they are able to, but Buffalo has the puck in their own zone. Minute 50 left in regulation in a Game 7. Here between Buffalo, between the Sabres and the Habs, trying to have a shot to go to the Eastern Conference Final and play Montreal. Buffalo enters the offensive zone, leaves it for Quinn. Quinn drops the puck back, loses possession. Montreal's able to get the puck back, and the Montreal Canadiens are going to get the puck into the offensive zone. And now it's Buffalo who has it on the boards. Buffalo is going to chip it into the offensive zone. Minute 20 left in the third period. 2-2 game here, Sabres and Habs. Matheson's got it across to Hudson. Hudson enters the offensive zone. Hudson looking for some sort of passing lane, just going to dump it in, dump and chase after it. And Samuelson fighting for with one of the Habs players is able to get the puck out. And Doan gets it across to one of the Buffalo players. Buffalo, it's just a little bit too out of reach for, I think that was McLeod. And they are going to be able to gain possession back. 50 seconds left in the third period, 2-2 game. Buffalo and Montreal. And this one looks like might be an icing call. It is. 50 seconds left, third period, 34-21 shots on goal right now for the Buffalo Sabres, and the Sabres and Habs are currently at a 2-2 advantage. Once again, they're just showing Anderson blowing by Power and Dahlin and having a nice shot. And once again, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen had to be sharp on that attempt for the Montreal Canadiens. And once again, nice job from Dahlin to follow up and get that puck out of the blue paint. 3 shots from Anderson tonight, 4 attempts. Really good attempts there from Montreal. 50 seconds left. Third period, Buffalo gets at the point. Power is going to lose possession of the puck, and they're going to have to go back into the neutral zone. Byram tries a stretch feed, can't. Dano just flips it back into the neutral zone. 40 seconds left in the third period. Buffalo has the puck into the offensive zone. Thompson chasing after it, as is Benson and Norris. And Montreal is able to get the puck back. Newhook's got it. Texier's got it, but it's intercepted by Zach Benson. Benson sends it back into the Montreal zone. They're going to have to stop up and try and get it. Thompson's got it below the goal line. Looking for a passing lane, can't find one. Montreal's able to get the puck loose. 15 seconds left. Samuelson is going to stop Montreal from entering the offensive zone. Texier dumps it in. It looks like we're heading to Game 7 overtime here, folks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This game, Game 7, with a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Final on the line, is going to overtime. It's next goal wins, folks. And here it comes. We're about to go to Habs Sabres overtime action. So we'll have a couple of minutes of break here while we wait for the intermission. And then Habs Sabres in overtime. So very interesting to note there. I do put the flags in the back to represent the teams. Don't have all of them yet. So once again, I'll be able to do Canes and Sabres or Habs, whoever winds up going on to the Eastern Conference Final when I'm doing my live play-by-play streams for those ones. I don't have the Avalanche's flag in the back as of yet. So when I do my Knights Avalanche live streams over the next couple of weeks or days, I'll have to do with the Avalanche, the Nordiques, because that's the only logo I have that's connected to the Avalanche. So yeah, but I do put the flags behind me to represent what I'm talking about in any one of those videos. So very interesting note there, and I do disagree with you. Once again, I would not mind the Habs winning because the Habs I would not mind the Habs winning because the Habs are a Canadian team. I'm Canadian myself, so I wouldn't mind Montreal going to the Eastern Conference Final and having a shot to maybe bring the cup back to Canada. But the Sabres are my fourth favorite team, and I'm definitely pulling for them to make it to the first Eastern Conference Final in probably around 20 years. So yeah, I do agree that I wouldn't mind the Habs, but I'm hoping for the Sabres. So very interesting note there. We are going to go quickly here through an intermission report, and then we'll go over and talk about a couple of other things. So shots on goal at the end of the third period is 34-22 in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. They had a high level of shots in that third period, but it's still a 2-2 game. The only goal of that third period was the game-tying one. Rasmus Dahlin from Owen Power and Ryan McLeod. So very interesting to note there. But the Buffalo Sabres were able to tie it up in that third period. So great stuff there, and it was a beautiful goal from Rasmus Dahlin. So good stuff there. Face-off percentages are slightly in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. They've won 50.8% of the face-offs. 30 of 59, so Montreal slightly has the edge in the face-off dot. Hits 24-19 in favor of Montreal. Block shots 19-9 in favor of Montreal. Giveaways 16-15 in favor of Montreal, and takeaways 6-2 in favor of Montreal. So Montreal basically leads all of the stats. Montreal's also 1-for-1 on the power play, and the Sabres are 0-for-1 on the power play, so another stat advantage here for the Montreal Canadiens. So Montreal's advantage in most of everything except for the shots and the scoreboard where it's a 2-2 game. So very interesting to note there. Once again, we are going to be bringing you guys live overtime action. Just give me one quick second here. Just got to double check a couple of things. But yeah, that third period was really good. Both teams had some opportunities. Dahlin with a huge one to keep the Sabres alive. And we are now going to have an overtime game in every single game of round one and round two. I don't even know when the last time that happened was, but in every single first round series, we had at least one overtime. And now in every single second round series, we've had overtime at least once. I wonder if we continue with that in the conference finals, whether it's Habs and Canes or Sabres and Canes and Knights and Avalanche. So very interesting to note there, but some very interesting stuff so far as we're going to be getting yet another overtime game. So I'm not upset about it. I have called 2 overtime games. Coincidentally, it was both of these teams in round one losing in overtime. Habs on home ice, Sabres on home ice when the Bruins won in overtime over Buffalo to wind up sending that series back to Boston, when the Habs lost Game 6 in overtime to Tampa Bay that sent the series back to Tampa for Game 7. So I have called 2 play-by-play overtime games so far in these playoffs, and I've both been with these two teams with both of them losing in overtime. So one of these teams will actually be able to win in overtime while in the game while I am streaming. So very interesting to note there. Once again, just give me a quick sec here, guys. I just got to hold on a minute here, folks. So once again, very interesting stuff here so far. Really great game from the Habs and the Sabres, and it'll be still in overtime. Once again, I'm not upset about that in the least. So very interesting to note there. Hold on a minute here, folks. Just gotta do something. Just give me one quick second here, folks. So very interesting to note there. So we can talk about a couple of things that have happened from our past couple of days. Once again, nothing really overly substantial over the past couple of days. But once again, if you guys are into junior hockey, the Memorial Cup's coming up soon. The finalists for the Memorial Cup was recently announced. Kitchener, who won the OHL, Chicoutimi, who won the QMJHL, Everett, who won the WHL, and Kelowna, who's the host nation, are going to be the 4 teams represented in the Memorial Cup. Not the biggest of junior people myself, but I do keep track of the finals on the junior side and the Memorial Cup finals, so it will be interesting to see which one of those teams are able to come away with the Memorial Cup championship. On top of that, we did also see, I think it was actually yesterday, but not surprising with them having announced that Daniel Chayka is going to be the GM for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But they did release a couple of assistant GMs. That was, I think, Derek Clancy, and that's not too much of a surprise. But the one that was a little bit of a surprise is Brandon Pridham, who's been our assistant GM for a long period of time in Toronto, has been a really, really solid assistant GM. And the fact that they've let him go really makes me wonder if there's a couple of other GMs teams out there who are in need of GMs who try and go after Pridham, because he was a really solid assistant GM, and a lot of Leafs fans thought he could potentially be the GM of the future for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So very interesting note there, but Pridham's now been released. So very interesting note there. Some things that happened last week that maybe you guys haven't heard about. The Maple Leafs fired Craig Berube. That's not too surprising in my opinion. There was a lot of vote of confidence when Daniil Jacob came into the organization that Berube was at least going to get another year, maybe. But they have looked at it and they made the decision to fire him. So that's very interesting. I do wonder who the Leafs go after as their next head coach. Like, I don't know exactly who some of the top candidates are for them. Maybe Chris Knobloch. There's, I think, some talk about college coach David Carlisle maybe being an option there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So it'll be very interesting to know there, but I don't exactly know who the frontrunners are at this point. But the Leafs are going to be looking for a new head coach, as are the Edmonton Oilers, because last week they did wind up firing Chris Knobloch. Now, it's not too surprising. I know a whole bunch of Oilers fans who were trying to ask the Oilers to fire Knobloch after his performance this year. So the Oilers are going in a new direction. Once again, it seems that they really, really want Bruce Cassidy, but it seems like at this point Vegas has yet to give them permission to interview Bruce Cassidy yet. So that's very interesting. It seems that they have been able to obtain permission to speak with Craig Berube, potentially for their vacant GM job. We'll have to wait and see on that. But it does seem very interesting that they really do want Cassidy, but Vegas just doesn't seem to be wanting to give them that permission to interview him. So very interesting to note there. We saw a couple of signings last week, mostly smaller ones with like Lucas Reichel signing in Boston, Alexei Kolosov signing in Philadelphia. The bigger one was Charlie Coyle signing a 6x6 deal in Columbus. So very interesting to note there. Once again, it would be very interesting for Coyle's 6x6 deal. I do think that Coyle on like a 3 to 4 year term would have been a lot better because he's already 34 years old. So that contract takes him until he's 40. So that's not overly great news there for the Columbus Blue Jackets because they're going to be paying him $6 million until he's 40. I'm not too upset with the AAV on the term because once again, he was just making $5.25 million. So like it's just a very slight pay bump from what he was making this past year, but I just don't like the term on that Coyle deal. So it'll be very interesting to note there. And it will be very interesting to see exactly what else happens over the course of the offseason. Yeah, I know I don't want Cassidy in the Pacific either, but it seems like the two frontrunners for Bruce Cassidy are Edmonton and Los Angeles, who are both in the Pacific Division. So I would love to see Toronto go after Bruce Cassidy, but I don't think they are at this point going after him, and I don't think there's any other coaching vacancies at this point in the Eastern Conference. Maybe something's changed, but it just seems like Cassidy, the biggest teams who want him on the coaching market right now is Edmonton and Los Angeles. So yeah, it seems like he might stay in the Pacific, but once again, it does seem like Vegas has a little bit of say in that. So it'll be very interesting to note there. We also have a couple of once again, it'll be very interesting to see what happens over this course of this offseason. There's probably going to be a ton of trades because of the lackluster amount of free agents. So once again, I don't expect anything to pick up over the next week, but I think once we get into next week and the first week of June, we'll start to see some movement. More guys will start getting signed. More trades will start happening. It'll be very interesting to see exactly what winds up transpiring. Once again, do the Sharks move the second overall pick? Do the Hawks move the fourth overall pick? Do the Rangers move the fifth overall pick? Do the Flames trade up? Do the Canucks trade up? Like, it'll be very interesting to see exactly how all of this plays out for the draft, which I will be live streaming in late June. If you guys are able to tune in, that would be great. But once again, that's over a month away. We got to get the playoffs finished first. So that's very interesting. But I do expect a lot more movement to come out over the next little while. It'll be very interesting to see what the four conference finalists do in the offseason. Like, I mean, you look at all those teams. Colorado's in a pretty good position. Vegas is in a decent position. Once again, they're probably going to try and trade a couple of cap players. Like, I would wonder about Aiden Hill, maybe Tomas Hertl for freeing up some cap space for Vegas. Colorado's not in the best cap position either, but I think they're a little bit better than Vegas right now. So I do wonder what the Avalanche could potentially do this offseason. Carolina's in a fantastic cap position with a whole bunch of other ones. So very interesting note there. When it comes to Jason Robertson, I think Dallas would be wrong to trade him. I know they might be in a little bit of a tough bind. Like I know if he wants 12.5 million dollars, I don't think the Stars can sign Robertson with already paying Rantanen $12 million. But if you trade Robertson, you're trading a 40 goal scorer. So I think if they can, I think they're in a really big pickle. I could see Dallas, even if they do sign Robertson, because of the depth they'd be taking off of their roster, given how little cap space they have right now. I could see Dallas be a prime team right next year for a team who maybe regresses, sort of like the Winnipeg Jets did. But when it comes to Robertson actually getting his new deal, I do think he should get it in Dallas. I do believe he will get the new contract in Dallas. But once again, it really does depend on if he really wants $12+ million. Because I think if he wants $12+ million, I don't think the Stars are going to be able to keep him, and I think they're going to have to trade him. But if he is willing to take lower than $12 million, I think he will stay in the Dallas Stars organization. So I think if he's able to sign for a little bit of a lower AAV than he wants, I think the Stars will be able to keep him. But if he wants a massive long-term extension, I think there's a very likely chance the Stars will wind up trading him. And if they do trade him, I'd be looking at some of those teams who have a lot of draft picks who could potentially put together a really big package for Robertson. Like St. Louis has 12 draft picks for this upcoming draft. Nashville has 12 draft picks for this upcoming draft. San Jose has a second overall pick, and they've said they've been open to moving it. Chicago has the fourth overall pick. They've been said to be open to moving it. So I'm sure there's a couple of Eastern Conference teams out there too who could potentially pull that off and pay Robertson what he wants. So it'll be very interesting to note there. But I do think if Robertson is willing to come down as AAV just a little bit and sign even in just a hair under Mikko Rantanen's $12 million, I think he stays in Dallas. I think either way, if they sign Robertson, they're taking out so much of their depth. And if they trade Robertson, you're trading away a 40 goal scorer. So I think Dallas is in a really big pickle there. And I do think they're going to be a team who just might regress next year. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. Looks like we are in the last commercial break before the start of the overtime. So we are going to be getting ready for the overtime, it seems like here. Once again, the winner of this game will win the series. Another team who wins an overtime game in this postseason will win a series. Remember, Carolina won twice over Philadelphia. They won the series in round 2. Once again, the Knights won in overtime in Game 5 over Anaheim, won the series. The Avalanche won in Game 5 in overtime, won the series. In the first round, everyone except for Buffalo won an overtime game and wound up winning the series. The only team who wound up winning an overtime game and lost the series was Boston because they won the Game 5 overtime against Buffalo and they wound up losing the series. So once again, out of the first 11 series that have finished, are actually now 12 because the winner in overtime is guaranteed to go on. So after the first 12 games, 12 series, 11 of the teams who have won an overtime game wound up winning, going on to win the series. So that's just very interesting to note there. And once again, Montreal trying to make it to the conference final for the first time since the weird realigned year when they went in the Western Conference in 2021 and went to the Stanley Cup final. Buffalo trying to make it to their first conference final appearance since 2007 when they played the Ottawa Senators. So both teams are looking for their first conference final appearance in a while. And like I've mentioned, there's not been a whole bunch of disparity when it comes to making the conference final over the past 7 years, with only 10 teams having made the conference final so far this year, so far over the past 7 years. That's the Avs, the Stars, the Oilers, and the Knights in the West. And that's the Habs, the Panthers, the Bolts, as well as the 2 New York teams in Carolina in the East. All other teams have not made it to the conference final since we started the 2020s. So very interesting to note there. It'll be lovely to see Buffalo make their first appearance in the conference final in the 2020s. That would be lovely. But once again, Montreal only making it for the second time in the 2020s wouldn't be terrible either. So very interesting to note there. It looks like we are getting back here to game action for the Sabres and Habs. So let's put this back up here. So it looks like we're getting back out here for the start of overtime. Sabres and Habs. Both teams trying to advance to the Eastern Conference Final. Once again, would not be upset with either one of them, but I would be a lot more happier with the Buffalo Sabres. So very interesting note there. Once again, they're just showing some of the ice time for the Habs players, including Hudson, who has 27 minutes, Matheson, who had 25. Dahlin leads the team for the Buffalo Sabres. He has 28 minutes played so far. Power has 24. Byram and Samuelson have 23. Mets has only had 3 minutes of game action so far in tonight's game. So very interesting note there. Wonder if we go to double overtime or triple overtime, but we'll get started here with the first overtime and see how long it takes before we get an overtime game. This is, I think, the 4th overtime game or the 5th overtime game that the Montreal Canadiens have played in. This is the 2nd overtime game the Buffalo Sabres have played in. So very interesting to note there. Buffalo is going to lose the face-off draw, but they do get the puck back in the neutral zone. Dahlin chips it ahead. Benson going to spindle it along the boards, and Norris has it, sends it into the Montreal zone. Benson is going to send it around the boards. Montreal's got it. Slavkovsky now. Slavkovsky across into the neutral zone, and Buffalo's going to get the puck back. Here comes the Sabres. The turnover. Across. Shoots! And that's stopped by Jobash. Nice try from Benson. Benson does keep possession of the puck below the goal line, taken away by one of the Habs players, and the Habs now have a little bit of a stretch feed here. And the Habs just dump it in. Suzuki goes after it. Suzuki hit off the boards, and Samuelson tries to chip it in front, and that's another nice takeaway from Montreal. Montreal gets a point shot, and that one stopped. Nice play, goes wide. Now Buffalo trying to get the puck first. They're not able to. Hudson gets there first above McLeod. Puck goes back into the neutral zone. And, oh, crap, I forgot about changing that. Hold on a minute here, folks. Montreal's got the puck in their own zone, playing keep away right now. Hold on a minute here, folks. And Montreal's going to stop up and try and start up again. Here come the Montreal Canadiens. And they're going to get into the Buffalo zone where Buffalo is able to recover. Tuck gets to one of his defenders, but they can't get the puck out of the zone. Power gets it around to Byram, and Byram's going to try and slow up play. Byram gets it along the boards, and it's sent into the neutral zone. Nice play there from Buffalo. All the way back into the Buffalo zone, Montreal sends it. Power leaves it for Byram, as both teams are changing a little bit, and Byram gets it across to Helenus gets it to, I think that's Samuelson, and once again he's taken down to the ice. Helenus trying to get the puck loose, can't, and now Carrier's got it. Carrier back in his own zone, and Montreal's going to try and stop up and try and start some things up. 2 minutes gone in overtime, still a 2-2 game. Montreal gets the puck deep into the Buffalo zone, and Buffalo's got possession of the puck. Here come the Sabres off the wall, and it's sent back into the neutral zone. Golaie gets it to Hudson, or maybe that's Carrier, and the Habs do send the puck deep into the Buffalo zone. And it looks like, I think there's an offside call here on the Montreal Canadiens. I think that's what it was. So very interesting note there. 17:52 left in the third period. Once again, Norris got a pass across to Benson, and a huge stop there from Dobish early in overtime. So very interesting to note there. Once again, Benson has 2 shots and 5 attempts tonight, so he's been pretty good here for the Buffalo Sabres. Once again, I think this is a neutral zone face-off draw, if I'm correct. Let's see here. Just give me one quick sec, folks. They're just zooming in. No, yeah, it's neutral zone face-off. They're just outside Buffalo's blue line. So Buffalo's going to get the puck in their own zone, bank it off the boards, get into the neutral zone, and Montreal's going to regain possession, send it deep into the Buffalo zone. Buffalo has the puck. It's Owen Power. Power sends it around the boards, trying to find some sort of a passing lane. Krebs fighting for it along with him. Krebs and Deneau fighting for it. Deneau is able to get the puck back to the point. Montreal has some space. Nice play there. Once again, driving the net, trying to center a feed, can't. Timmins has it along the boards. Nice play there, and the Sabres are able to clear the puck. And they are just going to chip it into the Montreal zone. Matheson has it, and he's going to pass it across to Dobson. Dobson into the offensive zone, hit off the puck, but he dumps it in, and it goes right onto Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and the puck is turned over by Buffalo. They get the puck all the way down the ice. Nice play there from, I think that was Benson. Thompson overskates the puck, and Montreal is able to restart in their own zone. Montreal looking for a passing lane, and Suzuki's got it with some speed, sends it in. Nice play there from Nick Suzuki. Buffalo's got the puck. Buffalo below the goal line, trying to fight for it. There's a board battle, 16:40 left in the overtime. Puck goes along the walls, gets back into the deep into the Buffalo zone. Montreal around the boards again, and it's Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky trying to funnel something around, loses possession of the puck, maybe a little bit of a break here for Buffalo. Here comes Zach Benson. Benson sends it across to Norris, who loses an edge and can't get the puck back. Norris still trying to fight for it, but Montreal's able to get the puck back. Hudson below the goal line. Hudson with 16:10 left in overtime. Still a 2-2 game here between the Sabres and the Habs. Once again, Hudson, with both teams changing, just stopping, trying to set something up here. And here comes Lane Hudson, passes it across, and the Habs enter the offensive zone, dumps it in. Power goes after it. and Buffalo is going to give up the puck. Habs have it below the goal line, back to the point. Carrier's got some space. Carrier shoots, it goes wide. There's a little bit of space there, but no one's in front, and Buffalo can't get to it. Montreal has the puck all at the point. Matheson's got it. And Matheson shoots. That one's blocked and goes out of this zone. Nice play there from the Montreal Canadiens. Matheson brings it back into the offensive zone, turns it over. Evans with a shot, stopped. Newhook with a shot, and that one goes wide. Nice try there from Newhook with Luukkonen not looking. And the puck is going to be iced, I think it is. It looks like it is. So offensive zone face-off draw here for the Montreal Canadiens. 2-2 game right now, 15-20 left in overtime. We'll see how long this overtime period goes. So very interesting note there. Demidov put it off the boards, took a weird bounce, and almost went in the net. Once again, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen was out of his net, but it took a weird bounce. Once again, Tuck lost his stick, so that's why there was a little bit of offensive zone pressure there from Montreal. And once again, it was just a nice block there from Alex Tuck without his stick. So very interesting note there. Buffalo does win the defensive zone faceoff draw. They do have some space, and they send it into the Montreal zone. Buffalo is just going to send it into the offensive zone, and they're going to go off on a change. Montreal got it, and they're going to send it around the boards. Here comes in Montreal, and it's turned over. Buffalo's got a little bit of a break here, trying to get around some of the Habs players. Can't, and that's not offside, it looks like. Maybe it was, I'm not exactly sure. Helenus, back to the point, shoots! Stopped. A nice stop from Dobish, and it went up and out of play. So a nice stop there from Dobish with 34 seconds, with 14:51 left in overtime, and still a 2-2 game here between the Habs and the Sabres. Winner, take all, and go on to face the Eastern Conference Final, and go on to the Eastern Conference Final to face the Carolina Hurricanes. So that'll be very interesting. Once again, I am going to be streaming game 1 of that series on Thursday. So if you guys do want to check in, I really do appreciate it. Offensive zone face-off draw here for the Sabres. Once again, 5 minutes, 9 seconds gone in overtime. So we shall see. Very interesting to note here. Norris in the no to the left of Jakub Dobesh in the face-off dot. Referee is giving orders. And referee's just going to stop up for a sec here. And the no does win the draw. Tries a stretch feed here to Josh Anderson. However, it goes to the other Sabres player on the defensive end, and the Sabres do gain possession. They enter the offensive zone. It's Norris who leaves it for Thompson. Thompson with a shot, and that one's deflected. Buffalo trying to keep the puck in. They are not able to. And now it might be a 3-on-2 break here for the Habs. Carry across to Anderson, shoots, and that one I think went up and out of play. Montreal keeps the puck in the offensive zone. Montreal looking for a passing play. Texier's got it. Texier shot for Anderson, and that one goes wide. Anderson trying to score the game-winning goal here for the Habs. And now it is, I think that's Golaie at the faceoff dot. Shoots, and that one goes wide, and Buffalo can't get the puck out. Montreal keeps it in. Buffalo at the blue line, and they are not able to get the puck. And maybe a stretch feed here. Thompson, 2-on-1. Thompson, he's got Benson. He shoots, and Thompson can't get the shot away. Thompson trying to stretch feed back to the point. He is able to. Norris sends it back to the point. Dahlin shoots, and that one stopped, and it goes up and out of play. A couple of great opportunities from the Buffalo Sabres, and they can't put it home. Hold on a minute here, folks. My thing's about to die. I wasn't expecting this to go to overtime, so I'm just going to plug this in here and watch it over here for a little bit. So just give me one quick sec here, folks. Once again, a couple of very good opportunities here from the Buffalo Sabres. They just cannot. Once again, Thompson tried to outweight Dobesh, but once again, Evans was draped all over him. And then he tried to send a stretch feed to the center point, was able to, and just not able to get it. So very interesting to note there. Once again, just give me one quick sec here, folks. Let me put this here, so that's good. Okay, McLeod and Evans in the faceoff dot, and McLeod wins it. And the Sabres are not able to get possession, though. McLeod now does. McLeod sends it around the boards, trying to get it to Tuck. Can't. The puck goes right into Dobesh, and the Habs are able to clear it. So a huge clear there from Montreal. No icing on the play, and Timmins below the goal line is going to stop up and send it along the boards. And here comes Buffalo in the neutral zone, trying to enter the offensive zone. They are able to. They send it back. Tuck can't get there, and here comes McLeod. McLeod is knocked down. Buffalo is able to keep the puck in the offensive zone, and now Montreal is able to get the puck. They try and send it around the boards. They are able to. It's back in the neutral zone. Buffalo recovers. Buffalo enters onside, passes it across to McLeod. McLeod lets one go on net, and that one stopped. And now it's Dahlin at the point. Shoots one, it's blocked, and the puck goes all the way down the ice. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is going to leave it for one of his other defenders. Montreal tag teaming him. Buffalo is able to get the puck back, though. Dahlin around the boards, and Buffalo sends it into the neutral zone. Here comes Buffalo. 12:50 left. Maybe a little bit of a break, but nope, the puck was knocked away from him, and it goes back into the neutral zone. Caulfield shadowing one of the Sabres defenders, and Buffalo is able to get the puck back, enters the offensive zone. Helenius and one of the Sabres players are able to go after it. I think that was actually Thompson, but the puck goes all the way down the ice. No icing, not enough for icing. So good try there from Buffalo, but once again, Samuelson's in his own zone trying to set some things up here as Buffalo is changing. Nice pass there, and Buffalo off the boards, tipped in, and they're going to go after it. Carrier's got it. Along the boards, gets it to Matheson. Matheson is going to lose the puck. Buffalo does get the puck back, but they just send it in. Montreal's got the puck in the below the goal line. Montreal looking for it. It's sent all the way down the ice. I don't think this one's going to be icing either. So Buffalo's got the puck along the boards, sends it back into the neutral zone, and Evans now has it. Evans making a couple of people miss, looking for a passing lane, and that shot was blocked. Montreal is able to get it deep, though. Samuelson goes after it. Samuelson chips it along the boards, and Buffalo does get the puck out of the zone. This one might be an icing, and it is. So Montreal's going to get offenses on face-off draw here. 11:42 left in the overtime frame with the Montreal Canadiens currently tied with the Buffalo Sabres. Once again, Dobish has been fantastic all game long, so it'd be a miracle for the Buffalo Sabres to wind up getting one by him. Offenses on face-off draw here for the Montreal Canadiens. And Buffalo is able to win the draw to get it back, and Buffalo just chips it into the neutral zone. This one might be an icing call too, and it is. So another defensive zone draw here for the Buffalo Sabres as they try and get something going here. Once again, another offensive zone face-off draw here for the Montreal Canadiens. So really interesting to note there. Hudson and Texier, they're showing some of the Habs players. Once again, 11:34 left in overtime. 2-2 game right now. It's in the face-off dot. It is Krebs against Deneau. And Deneau is able to win it. Montreal has it at the point. Montreal looking for a passing lane. It's Hudson. Hudson has it. Hudson with a shot, and that one goes wide. Montreal chases after it. Buffalo below the goal line, trying to fight for it with Montreal. Board battle here, and it's 3-on-1 for Buffalo, and they are able to jam it loose. And nice play there from the Sabres to get it, but then once again, another board battle just behind Luukkonen, trying to fight for that loose puck. Buffalo is able to get the puck, but it goes along the boards. Montreal keeps it in. Nice play there, trying to get something in front, and it's stopped. Oh, what a huge stop there from Timmins. And the puck is chipped off the ice, and let's see, they're waving it no icing. So the Sabres are able to get a desperate chance. That's a huge non-icing call there for Buffalo, and they're able to get some of their other rested players out there. Montreal's got it. Hudson back across, and they dump it in. They chase after it. Buffalo going in there first, and it is Montreal who got it, trying to center his feet. Can't. Maybe a 3-on-2 break here for Buffalo. Here come the Sabres. Norris, he's got Thompson, he's got Benson. Norris leaves it for Thompson, shoots, and that one stopped. Now maybe a break here for Caulfield. However, it's 1-on-4, and he just dumps it down. So Buffalo's going to be able to regain possession in their own zone. And a nice stretch feed here to Benson. Benson going in, leaves it for a couple of players, gets tripped up, taken down, but there's no penalty call on the play. And Buffalo is going to turn it over. Montreal, 3-on-2, into the offensive zone. It's Demidov. Demidov is going to leave it, drop it off for Dobson. Dobson sends it around for, I think that's Newhook. Newhook's looking for a passing lane here. Jake Evans now has it. Evans passes in front, shoots, and that one stopped. Nice try there from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, from one of the Habs players. The Sabres are able to clear it into the neutral zone, and the Habs take it in, and the Sabres clear it back out. And now maybe a little bit of a break here for Buffalo. Trying to go in is Josh Doan with a shot stopped. Dobish clears it around, but Doan intercepts. Doan along the boards. Nice try there. But Habs are able to get the puck in their own zone. 9.5 left in overtime. Still a scoreless, still a 2-2 scoreline here. Buffalo turns it over in the neutral zone, but they are able to get it back, and they go after a change. Here comes the Sabres into the offensive zone. It is shots. Helenius stopped. Nice stop there from Jakub Dobish. And now the Buffalo Sabres looking for it, and they can't get it. Montreal gets it deep into the Buffalo zone, and I think will this be an icing call? It looks like it will be. So offensive zone face-off draw here for the Buffalo Sabres with 9:08 left in overtime. So very interesting to note there. as this has been a very fantastic overtime period so far. Once again, both teams have looked pretty good. Once again, they're just showing some more of the highlights. Buffalo with a couple of good opportunities. Once again, Dobesh is playing fantastic hockey right now, so really not much Buffalo is able to do right now. Anderson with a shot that went off the post, almost ending it there. Buffalo, Thompson almost put one home, but a nice stop there from Jakub Dobesh. And another nice feed from Evans to Demidov, who wound up having it blocked, I think it was, by Byram. So a couple of good opportunities for both teams. And 9:08 left in overtime. Offenses on faceoff draw here for the Buffalo Sabres. And let's see here once again, both teams looking to try and win this faceoff. I think Thompson's out there here for Buffalo. I think this will probably be a faceoff that Norris takes. So let's see, once again, total ice time leaders right now. Dahlin's first, followed by Hudson, Matheson, Suzuki, and Power. So Dahlin has been the mainstay for the Sabres, Hudson for the Habs. It's not too surprising there. Those are two of the best defensemen in the entire NHL right now. Definitely two top defensemen, two top 10 defensemen in the NHL. Once again, shots are currently 35-24 in favor of Buffalo. 9:08 left in overtime. Once again, I think there's just a little bit of a stoppage here. I think they're just looking at some other things. I think they're trying to see if this was an icing call. Because they did, I think, call it icing on the play. But I think they might actually call this one back and put it in the neutral zone. So we'll see what happens here. Once again, 9:08 left in overtime. And that, I think, is going to go back into the Montreal zone. So once again, really negates the point of an icing. But after the lengthy stoppage, Sabres do have an offensive zone faceoff draw here. Once again, Buffalo trying to make it to the conference final for the first time since 2007, and Montreal for the first time since 2021. Offensive zone faceoff draw here for the Sabres. Buffalo trying to get the go-ahead goal after being down 2-0 in this game. But once again, Dobesh has been phenomenal. So it's going to be really hard to get a puck past him. It's the no out there against, it looks like Norris in the faceoff dot. And Norris is able to win the puck. They get it back to the point. Shots! And that one's stopped up by Dobesh. Another offensive zone faceoff draw coming for the Montreal Canadiens. So very interesting to note there. Let's see here. Once again, another nice try. The puck went, bounced around a couple of players right to Dahlin. Shot on goal, stopped by Dobesh with a nice little glove stop. So very interesting to note there. Offensive zone draw again here for the Buffalo Sabres, and we'll see if they are able to win it. Benson's out there. I think Norris and Thompson are both out there again. Norris against, I think that's one of the Habs players. Let's see. I think that's Evans against Norris in the faceoff dot. And Norris loses the draw, but Buffalo does getting possession along the boards. Buffalo trying to keep the line. They are not able to. Benson muscled off the puck. Thompson's got it. Shoots, and that one stopped up by Jakub Dobesh. Another offensive zone faceoff drop coming for the Buffalo Sabres. 8:52 left in the first overtime period. So very interesting to note there. Once again, Tage Thompson, nice shot. And once again, even better save there from Jakub Dobesh. So very interesting to note there. Buffalo has been pretty good so far in this game. We shall see how the rest of this game goes here. But once again, Dobesh has been fantastic. So it'd take a pretty dang good shot to beat Jakub Dobesh at this point. Norris loses the draw. Buffalo does keep it though. Dahlin holds it, waits, trying to keep it in the zone, is able to for a second. And now Montreal is able to get the puck back into the neutral zone. Carrier across the other side. Montreal in, shoots, and scores. Montreal wins. They win the series, and they advance to the conference final. It's Montreal. I think it might actually be Alex Newhook. And the Montreal Canadiens are through to round 3. A terrible loss for the Buffalo Sabres as their magical run and magical season comes to an end. A nice try there from the Buffalo Sabres, but I think it was Alex Newhook again. Once again, Newhook was all over the place in that second round series. So very interesting to note there, but it looks like the Montreal Canadiens are moving on, and they are going to be facing the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Final that will be starting on Thursday. So very interesting to note there. Once again, Sabres going down the tunnel. Nice job there from the Montreal Canadiens. And it looks like the Habs are going to wind up advancing to round 2. So very interesting to note there. Good stuff there from the Habs. Shallow goal there from Alex Newhook, and Montreal's advancing to round 2. So really good stuff. Once again, counterattack from Montreal, and they were just able to put it in. So good stuff there. Nice try there from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, but just was not quick enough with the glove. and Montreal's going to win it. Alex Newhook had a fantastic series. He's going to be a big piece of Montreal going into the conference final, and that's going to lead the Montreal Canadiens to the second round. So very interesting note there. I do appreciate the support. Thank you. And yeah, so that's going to be it for the video. Let's change this up here before I go. So it's final here. Let's see, final in overtime. Let's see, final in overtime. I'll move this a little bit down here. And this is going to go here. Okay, and it's going to be 3-2 for the Montreal Canadiens. Okay, so that series is over, and Buffalo's season comes to an end. Unfortunate, but they have a bright future. They have a lot of really good young players. So I think they can be back here next year. I do believe if they make the right moves, they'll be another top 3 team again in the Atlantic. So very interesting to note there. Once again, I do appreciate all of you guys for your support. Once again, my next live stream will probably be on Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time for Game 1 of Habs Canes in the Eastern Conference Final. We'll see if the Habs can break the Hurricanes' current 8-game winning streak. And then we'll have Game 2 of the Avalanche and the Knights on Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. We'll see if the winner of Wednesday's game is able to go up 2-0, or if the winner of Wednesday's game loses and that series goes 1-1 heading back to Vegas. So those are my next 2 games. Once again, we'll have more videos coming out over the next little while. It should have a couple of off-season preview videos I've already edited out in the next couple of hours. So stay tuned for those ones. Like I said, I should have What If the NHL Had a Script tomorrow, as well as a fan reaction to this game, as well as a game recap. So I should have a couple of things like that. And then on Wednesday, we'll have our playoff predictions. And then Thursday, we'll have power rankings. Friday, we'll have another off-season preview. And Saturday, we should have another news update video. So we'll touch on all of those later on. But I thank you guys all for your support, and I do appreciate it. And I really do appreciate for you guys' support. Stay tuned. We're going to have more videos coming on in the very near future. But the game is over. The Montreal Canadiens are advancing to the round 3 for the second time in the last 5 years. They're going to go into the conference final and have a shot to potentially still bring the cup back to Canada. So a very interesting note there. But this is going to be a very interesting conference final. I hope you guys are able to stay tuned for the ones that I'm going to be having later on. So very interesting note there. But the Habs wound up blowing a 2-goal lead, but recovered in overtime, take down the Buffalo Sabres, and advance to the conference final to face the Hurricanes. Can't wait for that series and can't wait for everything else. See you guys all soon. Thank you guys for all of your support, and we'll see you later. God bless every single one of you, and I'll see you guys soon. So see you all in the next one.